I'm on Instagram. Yep. Let me open Discord up. Let everybody know I'm live. What's up, God of Gods? What's up, Herbert? All right. About to share the live out. What's up, Q? How many people we got in the stream yard? 4. Copy link. Share out. All right. Let me let everybody know I'm live. Copy link. All right, cool. All right. What's up, Cosmic? What's up, Cosmic? Yo, what's up, Q? With the quote unquote Diaspora Wars. Diaspora WARs, my bad. Ever end. Will the diaspora battles ever win? End. I said win. End. Will the diaspora battles ever end? Wagwan. Wagwan. Wengapo, Chamacheshime, Halito, Osio, hey. What else? Chokuma, Ishla. Yes, they will. I hope so, because it ain't even entertaining. Yo, that stuff that's going on Twitter is insane. Like, South Africans get mad at what's going on in New Orleans. And next thing you know, we all lumped together. And they're attacking, saying we have no culture. And the city they're attacking is probably is definitely one of the most cultured cities in the country. Probably on the continent, honestly, in the world. So that's weird. I'm not from South Africa. What's up? What's up, Tay? What's up? What's up? New Orleans. But yeah, I'm seeing that on Twitter. My code kind of flared up. Hold up, you in New Orleans? No, no, I am not. Mm-mm. No, I am not in New Orleans. Let me go live on Instagram. Are we a part of the African diaspora? Do you guys believe that we're a part of the African diaspora? That could have been another question, but yes, yes. Hey, what's up? What's up, Tara? What's up, Ken? No, no. What's up, Kakarot? What's up, Black Magic? Duh. You said duh, LOL. We got one yes and like what, 3 no's so far to that question. Are Americans a part of the African diaspora, or do we have our own diaspora? That's the third question. Do we have our own diaspora? You know the answer is no. Man, bro, I'm asking the panel. It's like 31 people in here. I don't even know everybody that's in here. We all we got, we all we need. No, we are own unique people in the culture that was created by the mixing of multiple cultures. What's up? I'll accept you up. What's going on?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, all I want to say is, bro, I'm in the UK, yeah, black, all that stuff, but I think it's a genuine. I know you're saying diaspora wars, but I think it's a genuine conversation that you're having because essentially a lot of what
Hmm.
was taught to us hasn't worked in it. Like something's
Right.
not working, right?
Hmm. Right.
And this is the point that I hear so many people. I mean, I'm Jamaican, right? I'm
Hmm.
Jamaican, and my grandparents, my lineage is definitely from Africa,
Right.
right?
Okay.
100%. But that does not mean to say that the African or the black people in America are African.
Mm.
You
Oh,
understand? I
yeah.
think it's a legitimate. I don't know why it's so competitive and so argumentative, but I think it's legitimate because nothing's worked. None of that narrative has worked in the past.
Right.
They, they went to Pilgrim. What's that? What's it called? Pilgrim Pilgrim Rock. Is that a place?
Plymouth. Plymouth.
Plymouth Rock, and
Hmm.
they didn't find any bits of wood in the water, bro. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Now, if this was a place where thousands and thousands of shits went, you would have got some broken off bits, some screws. You can look this
Hmm.
stuff up. So
Right.
something's gone on. So that's kind of all I wanted to say, though, bro. You know what I mean? Not too much.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Big ups to
All
you.
right, bro.
Yeah. Well, on like today's or this week's episode of Diaspora Wars. I guess South Africans just found out that New Orleans have what they call a Zulu parade during Mardi Gras, and they're dressed up. They're dressed up like Mardi Gras Indians, but they have like black masks on, call themselves like Zulus, like saying it's a Zulu festival. And apparently, Zulus have been there to that festival. It's been going on for over 100 years. So yeah, South Africans are pretty upset about that. And now, lo and behold, everybody in America is lumped into that war. Like, oh yeah, we ain't got no culture. We ain't this, we ain't that. So we ain't George Floyd jokes. Like, wow. Well, like George Floyd jokes. We always getting locked up. Our culture is ghetto, trashy, blah blah blah. Like, yeah. But yeah, what's up, Addis?
Hey, good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing all right myself.
So, yeah, I don't live in the UK. I live in Paris at the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
I am an African woman living in Europe. So,
Uh-huh.
um, and I've been, studying a little bit about the diaspora wars on TikTok. Um, yeah, so I can give my opinion if you want.
All right. What's your opinion?
Me personally, I am a Pan-African, so
Okay.
I would love for for diaspora wars to end. I would love for us to come to mutual ground. I do personally feel like unity is very hard or a very, long stretch, but I
Uh-huh.
do feel like we can aim at respect, and that's what we miss a lot of times.
Right. For sure. I feel yeah, but respect would go a long day. Respecting everyone's differences would go a long way. I agree.
Yeah, and that's what us divides the most. The disrespect towards each other, the fighting about each other, cultures, about like the origin of everything is just, like it's sad at the end of the day. We all have so many things to fight against, I guess. Hey, Arias.
Thank you for the follow, Kakarot. What's up, Arius? Stop being it. Who's David? Thank you for the follow, Esty. All righty. Anybody? Who we got in the request? We got Real Blackfoot. We got Megan. Megan.
Hey, bro,
What's going
I've
on?
been meaning to talk to you for a little minute. I've been watching
What's
your little videos.
uh-huh. For sure.
You a
What's
real
up?
one, but what are you? Like, what tribe are you? I was curious.
Power Tempest Skyway.
You You say it one more time, big dog.
Powhatan and Piscataway.
What
Okay.
country is that from?
You ever heard of Shinnecock and Blackfoot?
Oh yeah, of
Girl,
course.
don't girl, don't do
Yeah, of
that.
course.
I heard she tried to sneak a little microaggression in. What country is that from? Come on now.
How
That's early.
everybody?
You
How is
Hold
started
that
on,
early.
one
aggressive?
second.
Nah,
One
nah,
mic,
I ain't
one
gonna lie.
mic, yeah.
Okay,
Chill.
okay.
She
Yeah, one mic,
started
yeah.
She don't be
started
dissing
early
Black
though.
Americans. She don't be
Okay,
dissing-
cool.
Starting early. She started
know.
early.
She
She
don't be
ain't waste
doing
no time.
Nah, she don't be
How
doing
is
that
that
shit.
aggressive though? I can tell my
Yeah,
country like
come
that's
on.
not aggressive.
Because we can hear your voice and we can see your name.
Stop.
How
bro.
everybody?
Nah, bro.
I'm
Stop
little.
with her, bro.
I'm
She
from
chill.
the
She don't be
Panther
doing
tribe,
that,
the
bro.
Cherokee in
She
Arizona.
don't be doing shit, bro. She be
Can I
chilling.
ask
What's up?
anybody a question, host?
Go ahead, sure.
I just want to ask a genuine question. It's really to my neighbor. She right next to me, Adonis. How come it's so hard for y'all to accept who we are? If y'all could accept a motherfucker, I mean, I can't cuss on here, right?
I mean, you can cuss. You gotta watch the certain words.
I'm from East Side Atlanta. All right, one more time. I'm gonna try again. Turn my switch on. I just got to work anyway. So you mean to tell me like y'all could accept someone that's being other than their gender? You could accept
I
someone
don't
being
think
different.
Africans accept that. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't really. I'm not really. I'm being in general. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really saying specifically who. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see who she is. I'm talking to the person next to me, not you. You probably from somewhere else, so you probably got different arguments.
Nigga, I'm
But
from America, nigga. I'm from Texas. The fuck?
big dog, I feel that. All right, with their respect, no disrespect. But I was just trying to say, like, if y'all could accept scientists manipulating with anything, y'all could accept anomalies and things they ain't. It's hard to believe. But as soon as someone say, "Hey, yo, can you stop calling me an African? Because that's kind of disrespectful. My great grandma ain't teach me that. That's kind of mean. Can you stop doing that? Nah, you trying to like it's only online, so I'm gonna be clear. It's only online, y'all. So I'm gonna be clear. Most people are more respectful in real life. You know what I'm saying? They not even gonna try you like that. But why online do y'all feel like y'all should do stuff like that? Like, no, you're not who you are. I'm telling you who you are today. Why
I ain't
y'all do
gonna
that?
lie, bro. She not that type, but she be having panels and she be getting on her people about that shit, but she don't be on to that type of shit.
I just asked her
Okay.
because I only brought that up because she said, "What country is that from?" I'm just like, why would you hear my accent? You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
think, bro, she not
I
from
was
here,
I
bro.
was asking the host. I was not even asking you. I was
Yeah.
asking the
I
host
wasn't.
because
I
he's
hope
from Great
like
Britain.
I hope you don't think I was getting on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just asking a genuine because I hear that on a lot online. So I'm a little bit defensive when it comes to TikTok. So I'm not really, you know what I'm saying, getting. I just was asking based off the statement you made. That's all.
Okay, can I answer?
Of
Yeah,
course.
you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, yes, I am African and I am a Pan-African. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do, like Area said, I do check my people when they literally force their African identity upon African Americans or Black Americans or whatever, like you guys want to identify as. I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
respect for everyone's identity, everyone's, lineage, heritage. And I do feel like a lot of Africans have, we are very prideful people. Um, and people like when they feel that some people don't want to associate with them, they feel hurt, they feel disrespected or whatever, and so they are forcing their African identity on upon you. But I promise you, I'm not that type. Like
I don't
Aries
think
said,
I don't think they are the majority. Honestly, I'm not cutting you off. I don't think they're the majority. Keep going.
like I said, like the only thing I can do is when I come across someone from Africa who is, like forcing their African identity upon other people. The only thing I can do is check those people. So I cannot check every single African. Obviously, I'm just one person, and hopefully, my panel will grow in the future. So I can spread the message of respect and tolerance between each other. So that's all I can do,
For sure.
respectfully.
For
Yeah,
sure.
not,
Appreciate
and I
that.
understand. I really wasn't. I hope like I get like, passionate. You know what I'm saying? But I really wasn't getting on you. That's why I'm glad. My boy down below me had. You know what I'm saying? Really like, hey yo, no. But he heard me. I think he heard my voice. It was more sentiment more than I'm getting on you. But I was honestly just genuinely curious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. To be honest, I get you guys. You know, it must be very frustrating when you guys say like, I'm from here. I'm American, and I have this lineage, and a bunch of Africans would say like, no, you're African, or you're from this, you're from this. Like, I get that. It must be very frustrating, and
Mm-hmm.
so I will, recognize it. And when I ask like, what country you from,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think, host, are you from Great Britain? Like, are you from the UK?
Mm-mm.
Or
No.
someone was from the UK.
No, it was me
SD,
that was talking.
yeah, SD,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So I heard someone speaking, in a British accent, and most likely people in Europe and like who are from Africa or have African ancestry, we really identify what our African country, So that's why I asked like, what country are you from? There was never like to be passive aggressive or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
between Africans, that's a very normal question.
Can I?
No,
Sorry,
I
hold
can't.
on, one
ask one
second,
question. Just say one
one
Can
thing.
I
second. One,
apologize to you?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, apologize. Go ahead.
That's all.
Alright.
That's it. That was it.
Thank
I just
you.
want to
Thank you so
apologize
much.
for that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I just say one thing? I'll step down. I
Yeah,
also
go ahead.
think that when you brothers come up and you're saying that you're original Americans or whatever, I think it's really really weird that people call for evidence, and the
Right,
only evidence that they're willing to take is something that the white man wrote.
right.
It's absolutely bizarre.
What's up?
I,
What's up, Nix? Yeah, it is
I really
bizarre
don't get it. So it's a legitimate argument. Keep going.
for sure. Appreciate it. But nah, the Powhatan and the Piscataway are from the eastern woodlands of the United States. Like evidence, like we have evidence. Y'all just don't like our evidence. We got son of livers down there. I've shown my ancestors on here. Like you can't change that.
Hey,
I'm
ho.
related to
Exactly,
these
man.
people.
I think with the indigenous stuff is like, especially with the southeast, the southwest tribes. I'm seeing them. I'm seeing like Americans and some Africans. They be having basically Mexican mods, and I'm like, how can these people speak on southeast or east coast tribes? Like, you lost Texas, you lost California, you couldn't fight. Like, Spain messed you up real
Hmm.
bad. That class system they got, bro. I told them like, my Dominica, not Dominican Republic, my Dominica, the real one, we crushed. Yeah, yeah, we crushed Spain. We didn't wait to no treaties. Our Caribs, we saw them, man. It was an attack at sea. And like I told him, I said, like, like I was on I was on NC Live and I seen that Carolina girl and Pierre Chopper, like, talking down on the dark indigenous. Like, before they spoke, they was like, yeah, go ahead with your pseudo stuff and this stuff. I'm like, yo, y'all just Mexicans. Literally, like, yeah, people getting deported. You need our help. You crying for unity. Like, that time is done. You feel me? Like, and the sad thing is, like, a lot of the American Indians, they was disrespecting. Last year we was all getting disrespected. A lot of American Indians now working for ICE. And that's the ironic thing of all that. So you said they ain't have power, whatever, but you notice now is only citizens of the countries talking, or if you talking on these things, you outside of the country at least, whatever. But yeah, the games change now, dog.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we got right.
Can,
They
can
expect
I
us
ask
to
you a
actually take
question,
initiative. Yeah, go
host?
ahead. Uh-huh.
I just want to pick your knowledge based off the research. What I'm saying, I've been following you for a little minute, so I
Uh-huh,
just
for sure.
wanted. I don't know if you ever heard of Earth Speaks or
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
heard of Earth Speaks. Okay, cool. Or my favorite is We Know the Truth Now.
Yeah, I know about them. Yeah. Hmm.
All right. So I feel like you like I don't know they seers. I don't know your skill, your ability, your lighting ability is, but I feel like you are knowledgeable. I was just curious on what do you do know about the Canadian when basically our stuff when the Blackfoot how we end up getting pushed out when we was considered the lords of the plains.
So the Blackfoot, there's two sets of Blackfoot. That's one thing. You got a Blackfoot in Canada, which is in Montana, or in Montana, like stretching out in Montana because Algonquin stretch out far. Then you also have Blackfoot that come from Ohio, who are the
Use
Catawba
nigger,
is
boy.
man,
Use
get the
nigger, boy.
all right,
Use
bro.
a nigger.
Like, all right, bro. Like, come on. Like, why do y'all come up here and, and do that shit? That's goofy as hell. What was I about to say? Um, yeah, you have Blackfoot that come from Ohio and went east to Virginia and the Carolinas. This is what we call Saponi and Saponi and Catawba. They're Blackfoot. They have a word for Blackfoot in their language. Somebody block veterans for life, please. Like, where are my mods at? Like, um, and with that being said, yeah, but how do people get pushed out? It's a lot of things that happen. It's a lot of things that happen.
My
But
grandmother told me they had to go to Connecticut. I seen somebody say Ohio, but they had to go there, and I always heard about Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said something about her granddaddy had to walk the Trail of Tears.
Okay, walk the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Okay.
the pictures stink. You know when you open up that old photo album with the old green looking black and white pictures and stuff like that, it stank in the book. You know what I'm saying? But they had photos of them when they finally came in and settled down. You know what I'm saying? Finally got the couple kids in the family and stuff like that. But she said that she never knew why her great granddaddy got pushed out.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that happen. Tribes, since most tribes are matrilineal, and this is a story all around the goddamn world, honestly. Because I'm in the coaches too, just letting you know, all right, if you're cooking. But with that being said, since a lot of tribes are matrilineal, Europeans took upon themselves to marry women in the tribes so their children can become a part of the tribe and have leadership amongst the tribe. So with that being said, you have instances where the men turned on the women, and then those mulatto or mixed children would sign treaties and things on behalf of their European side and things like that. And you had wars as well, tribes warring with other tribes. The Europeans became master, not master. I don't even say master. They took advantage of people warring with each other. Like it's easy to manipulate sides with people that don't like each other already. So with that being said, all the wars that happened amongst different tribes, the wars that happened with the Europeans, and political conflict and things like that. That's how people get pushed out, and people getting reclassified. A lot of people stayed on their land. There's people that didn't go
I didn't
on
want
the
to cut
Trail of
you off
Tears.
because I was in tune. I got you in my headphones, just like how you got I got AirPods on, so I'm into what you're saying. But she was saying stuff like this. She passed away. God bless her soul.
Right.
God's bless her soul. You know what I'm saying? But she was more so saying stuff like I don't know how to put it in words. Well, I do know how to put it verbatimly, but she was saying stuff like when they was having people coming in and sitting on, like they had appraisers or something to come around and ask for they what's it called? And I seen somebody up on like another live like right before I got on yours saying that it was something called a reclassification act or something like that.
Indian
You know
removal
what I'm
act.
saying? So when
Excuse
she
me,
said
both.
when she was in middle school, they would like some of them would get bullied, whatever, or something like that if they was to say like who they were. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was natural for them. So what is a reclassification act?
So reclassification happens through all the 13 colonies first.
They said she was reclassified over 6 or 7 times or something like that.
Yeah, that's possible. Reclassification starts with the government and census takers. Whether it's based off phenotype, what you look like, whatever they wanted to classify you as.
They're called who? They're called the what? I'm sorry, I see the page. They're called the what?
Census takers. Census taker. You have census takers, courts. They classify people as anything they want to at a certain time. You didn't get a right to self-identify till 1960. What's up? Hey, Creole girl. Yeah, people like folks were classified whatever the census taker wanted to classify them as.
So they was really like getting harassed for like self-identifying.
Yeah, or they would just go the enumerators. Yeah, the enumerators would just go in and change it to whatever they wanted. or
And then
just write down whatever they wanted.
my great auntie was saying that she had to work something about a carpet bagging or some stuff like that.
For sure.
I don't, she said she had to work and they only gave her about like $40, $60 at the end of the day. Like at the end of the week. She said she got paid once a week. My same auntie, her mama was in the well, my auntie was in Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Her mama she wasn't nothing. My grandma on my daddy's side wasn't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She moved from the south to Georgia. She claimed Creek. She moved to New York,
Okay.
Long Island.
For sure. Well, you had something to ask Addis, and then we got Vivi on the stage. She's been on here for a minute.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I get them. Yeah.
I wanted to warn you actually because there was this man up, but he already left.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
he if it's the same guy, he also goes by the name Dennis, and he is literally like he hates BLK people. So like
Mm.
if you wanted to avoid a crash out or whatever, like
Oh
or
yeah.
just like your life being banned, you should have removed him. But he already left, so
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, I was about to say he got. I was like, sometimes you just tune them out. You just tune the trolls out. They go away. Act like they not there. They'll go away. Leah, Vivi, you there?
Yeah,
So yeah, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's going on? What brings you up here?
Um, well, first I'd like to ask out of curiosity, why does diaspora have quotation marks?
Because I don't believe in the diaspora.
Why?
Because you got a diaspora means you had to be the descendant of people.
Okay, so the reason why there is a diaspora war is because the majority of black, well, we're speaking, you are Black American or quote unquote Black American, right?
Yeah, what's up? Where you from?
Well, I'm living, well, I was born and raised in America, but currently I'm in Senegal. I'm West African, right?
Okay.
So the reason why there is this diaspora war is because the majority of Black Americans consider themselves of African descent, whether they want to admit it or not. If they felt as if they were indigenous to the American land, there would not be much discourse between the two of us. If there wasn't any relatability whatsoever, there wouldn't be much interaction, in my opinion, right? So I do feel as if a lot of
What's up,
these Black Americans, like, and like that includes you as well. No disrespect, like you guys say you're not of African descent, but there's constantly these interactions with African people. So like I do feel as if like
I got
because
a question.
I never see like this war with like Mexicans or like other races, like, because there is no relatability.
Hold on one
Yeah,
second. I was
they're
gonna
like,
say YT people are always warring with each other. They don't like each other.
Right,
Like,
because they're all white.
yeah, the YT.
it's a,
One second, y'all. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Since speaking of diaspora, wouldn't everybody be of African descent?
No, not directly. Of course, like white tea people, for example, have descended from Africa thousands upon thousands of years ago, but that's not the case for everyone. Some
But
people, like for example, Black Brazilians, they descend from Africa like a few hundred years ago, you know?
yeah,
So there's
so the
obviously,
definition of diaspora are people that have been spread or been dispersed from their homeland.
yes.
So, with that being said, if people aren't from if a place isn't their homeland, how are they a part of a diaspora?
If a place is not their homeland, how, yeah,
If
exactly.
folks
So
aren't from if folks aren't from Africa, right? Their
yeah.
homeland. If my homeland is America, how am I a part of the African diaspora?
If your ancestors are directly from Africa and you're like predominantly of African descent, right?
Predominant, like, how is that measured?
How is that measured? By different haplogroups, by DNA tests. Like for example, I know that I'm, predominantly African. So like it obviously, you can tell by sometimes phenotype, you can tell by DNA tests, genealogy, etc.
Yeah, genealogy, cool.
Culture.
I'm glad you brought up genealogy because we do genealogy here. right? Now, with that being said, if folks aren't finding Africans in their genealogy, then what should that tell you? If we've been here for hundreds of years,
I mean, it depends on how far off that genealogy is. Does it date back all the way to the 1600s,
yes,
1500s,
yes,
right?
yes,
So
mine does.
so according to our history, the first
Our
quote unquote black person who has been in America came around like the 1600s. If your genealogy dates back to, the 1500s, 1400s, and there is no one of African descent, then yeah,
uh-huh.
you could say I am indigenous to this land, and
Yes,
then you're not my people, right? But if you don't have any proof of that,
I have proof of that.
yeah, it's if you
I,
have proof of that, then you're not black, you're not of African
I am.
descent.
I'll be black because we the ones that are. We the only
You
ones
said
that are black.
you
Oh
are
yeah,
black.
yeah. We the only ones that are black. I'm gonna take you there tonight.
It's
You're
a
not
very
black.
small
Wait, you
percentage
said
of people.
Americans are the only ones who are black?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we the only ethnic. We're the only people that are ethnically black. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we
Um.
throwing away pseudo race science. We're the only ones that are ethnically black. Y'all aren't black in your
Wait,
home
you said
countries.
pseudo. So how did Black Americans come up with the term black if it's not from pseudo racism?
If it's
Wait,
not
can
from
I
pseudo,
answer
how
that?
did we come? Hold on, we ethnically called ourselves black. We the ones that
Yeah,
make
and
black.
where did that
We're the
stem
ones that
from?
make black being cool. Like
No,
let's not do
I'm
Where's
that.
saying yeah,
where's she from?
yeah. Cool, but
Yeah,
like
I was
I'm
about to say,
saying,
yeah, you're not black in Senegal.
Where? Oh, you
no,
Senegalese?
we are black in Senegal, but
No, you're not.
it's
Why? What's if it's majority black people? Why would you call yourself a black Senegalese?
I mean, yeah, there are all Senegalese people are black. You're correct.
Yeah, but y'all don't
But
call
that's
yourself
still
black in Senegal.
so if I say all Senegalese people are black, wouldn't that mean we're black? It's in the
No, because y'all don't
sentence.
call yourselves that in Senegal.
No, we do. We do call ourselves. So,
Y'all call
have you
yourselves
ever
black as
spoken to a Senegalese person before?
It's tribal.
yes,
He's gonna
yes.
say yeah.
Y'all go by
Wolof.
ethnic groups in
So,
Africa. Like,
what
come on, bro.
tribe are Senegalese people generally a
It's
part
a
of?
bunch. It's a bunch. You got
Wolof
the
or
Wolof. You
something
got the
like
It's
that.
a
Hausa. You
bunch?
got the You got the Wolof,
No,
Hausa, Fulani,
primarily.
Fulani, Hausa.
No, it's not.
They're
It's
all
no.
they're all centered in the same area. Like, come on, man.
Primarily, it's not
Wolof, Hula.
Fulani. So instead, well, okay, correct. So
Where I
there
said that.
is
Like,
there are
hello.
primary excuse me, there are primary sources that date back in the 1500s of Wolof people calling themselves black and other people calling us
In
black.
what language? Like, how do they say that in their language? How do they say black in
And
their language?
mule is in Wolof. In French
No,
is yes,
Noor,
mule, and
and
noir
Noor,
is in French.
Noir. Yeah, But is that BLK?
Yes, mule is black
But are
in
they
terms
saying
of skin
BLK?
color, in terms of
Are they
race.
saying BLK exactly?
Wait, you said what?
No. Are they saying BLK exactly?
Yes,
And do
that's
they
a
describe
direct.
themselves as
No,
black?
I'm pretty
no.
sure
Like
there's Wolof in Google
so what do they
Translate
call?
right
What do they
now.
say?
You can go ahead and look.
What does black people mean? How do they refer themselves as black people?
So in Africa, black means someone of sub-Saharan African descent of a
In
specific
Africa,
phenotype.
who made up sub-Saharan African? Who made that term up?
Who made up that term? Well, not
Yes,
of course not.
that's
us,
a
but I'm
racist
telling you
term.
what it means.
It's a racist term.
Wait, how is it a racist term? How is it like
It's
necessarily a racist term? I know where it stems from.
it stems from Europeans that wanted
Yeah,
to divide
exactly.
Egypt from the rest of Africa.
Well, not just Egypt, right? There's a huge cultural difference between North Africans and, the rest
There's,
of Africa.
there's not. The
There's a
Fulani were
huge
actually considered
racial, yes, there is a huge
the
racial and
there's,
cultural
there's
difference.
not. There's
Hold
not.
on,
The
one
Fulani
second.
were
Hold on,
part of
I got this, Jay Bird. I got this. Hold on, 1 second. I got this. Like, yeah, like what? Like, and then there's tribes in West Africa that say they don't even come from West Africa. I'm pretty sure the Wolof have a
Wait,
story that they don't originate in West Africa.
no, the Wolof, yeah, we do originate from West Africa.
What part?
And if we don't, West Coast of Africa,
West
like
Coast. Like, where were y'all before that?
where were we before that?
Yes.
Thousands of years ago? We don't
Yes.
know. Like where
Y'all
where
don't
were
know.
you thousands of years ago?
I got a book called Exiled Egyptians, right? Saying that the Wolof say they come from North Africa.
North Africa.
Yes.
And who's the author of that?
Someone that in Egypt, an Egyptian author.
You sure that's
Yes.
not someone like Sheikh Anta Job or something like that?
No, it's not Sheikh on the job.
Okay.
How do I sound suspiciously how do I sound suspiciously ignorant when the tribes out their mouths have said this? The Yorubas say they come from Arabia. The
All
Igbos
right.
say they come from
A lot of
Arabia.
black people say they come from Egypt. That doesn't mean it's true.
Arabia. The Akan say they come from Egypt, right? The Dogon say they come from Egypt. The Mandinka say they come from Arabia. Like I can go on. The Labo, they say they come from Persia, right? There's tribes that say
Okay.
they come from India in West Africa. So what are we talking about?
Well, maybe I'm not very educated on what you're
Huh.
talking about. Maybe you can,
Maybe you need to talk to somebody in the village back home. Maybe.
I have, and I've never heard of this before.
You never heard of that before.
No, and
None of your
now I'm
elders,
intrigued
none of your
because
elders has ever said that before. They came from
that
somewhere
well, if
else.
people are, I mean, I'm sure we have some North African ancestry, but it's not a large percentage.
So, and you gonna I'm making shit up. These are I got videos
No,
of this shit.
I'm
Don't
not
make me
sure if
start.
you're making
Hold
shit
on,
up.
no, I'm talking in the chat. I can pull the videos up of them coming out their own mouths saying that they come from somewhere else.
But that doesn't mean that it's true.
How does it mean that it's not true? They know about their tribe, right?
Yeah, because people lie all the time and say, "Oh, we're from Egypt." Whole time you're from South Africa.
Wait, but you don't think that is possible? Lying based off of the fact that Queen and King literally declared that they can no longer enslave indigenous people. Now, all of a sudden, we're gonna just lie about where these people are coming from that we're enslaving, and we're gonna continue to do what we were doing here because the King and Queen don't got no video cameras. They can't tell if we're doing the real or not. You don't think that's a possibility either? They bring in a couple of people and then they inflate the number to say that they have way more people on each of these ships.
Hold on 1 second. I'm about to pull the videos up right now.
I mean, I just want to know.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard you. Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Wait, baby, did you hear what I said?
Oh no. Could you repeat yourself?
Yeah,
I said so.
Like you were
People
cutting
lie
up
all
on
the
my
time.
end.
You don't think? Okay, I've said people lie all the time. You don't think that it's possible that when the king and the queen declared that the Europeans could no longer enslave indigenous people, that those people just started? They didn't just start lying about where they're taking the slaves from and reclassifying them and then calling them a different name that disassociates them from the land, and then bringing it over to people, but inflating the number and saying that they brought way more than they actually did.
They probably did, but like I wouldn't say that the
There's historical evidence
transatlantic
that they
trade
did.
is absolutely false.
Let me do that. I'm gonna do my mic on here.
So when did the West Atlantic slave trade start? Can you tell me that?
The West Atlantic slave trade?
Do you know when the West Atlantic slave trade? I'm sorry, the Atlantic slave trade started. Do you know when it started and where it started at?
Where it started at?
And who it started with?
Who it started with? No, I'm not.
And who it started with and what year?
I'm not sure about that.
It was in Senegal in the 1400s and 1436 is when it began. And the Portuguese and the Spanish were enslaving people on West Africa and making them work on islands in West Africa. Those islands later became slave trading ports. By the time 1492 came around, they already started to do significant numbers on the population in itself. And when you look at the population estimates for the groups of people that were allegedly being enslaved and shipped to America, the numbers don't add up because none of these people had enough people to then have a thriving population still after the fact that they sent over more people than each of these countries had during that time period, I should say.
Wait,
so for example, in Nigeria, it's estimated in the it started in Senegal in the 1430s to the
Wait, so
mid 1430s, early 1430s, and it was the Portuguese and Spanish.
So Senegal basically became a country around like 1960. So like what empire or civilization are you referring to when you say Senegal in the 1400s?
Well, I'm referring to the historical narrative that they tell you about the Atlantic slave trade. They literally say that it started in what is now known today as Senegal. They were enslaving indigenous people and sending them to islands off of the coast of West Africa,
No, no.
and these people were already becoming slaves to the Spanish and Portuguese before anyone, according to history, knew about the United States of America. Or, and I'm sorry, Americas in general. I'm acting like the United States are the only American country. So, with that being said, you also don't think that it's weird that they do all this stuff to try to diverge West Africans as a part of the Moorish Empire. However, there's linguistic evidence, DNA evidence, and historical context that tells you
What's up, grandson?
not just the empire, but some of the first people in Europe. You that
You got it. You got
America,
bad.
same exact year that they overthrew the Moors.
Oh, I was about to say you got choppy there, but I'm gonna show this real quick. I gotta be right. I gotta go get something. But yeah, for the folks saying like, yeah, this is for the folks that I gotta be right. I gotta go. Fucking
Wait, we can't hear anything.
Oh yeah,
know that they said that
No Saul.
during the colonial period, right, that most of the people, did they dwell on the coast or was it inland?
Do most of the people dwell on the coast?
During that time period, during the earlier colonial time period, because I'm trying to gather some information, right? Because if they dwelled on the coast, were they like nomadic? Were they like moving with the seasons and whatnot?
Yeah, they were nomadic, but it varies. It definitely depends. But Wolof people, they're
Hey, Haley.
generally near the coast.
Right. Because I was just looking at Nigeria currently, and you know, during their rainy season and whatnot, it floods a lot. So I don't know if that's necessarily good for the crops and stuff like that that they said that they were supposedly growing during that time period. You know how it's flooding them out or whatever. And then in the dry season, it's too dry. It's not enough rain. You get what I'm saying? Without the modernization of what's that called? The irrigation system?
Agriculture? Yeah.
No, the irrigation system. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we generally have to face floods, and it does, affect crops and farming, etc. But like, is your question relating to the topic, or is it just?
People from the actual continent up here that I can like pose a couple questions to. I mean, that's kind of off topic, but yeah, I just was trying to get some information from people who are actually on the continent.
All right, yeah.
What's up, girly girl? How we doing? Yeah. All right. Who was even talking beforehand while I was gone? Who was talking while I was gone?
Jay Bird and Tyrone.
So what I was saying is the transatlantic slave trade did not happen in no 1430. It started in the 15th century. It's officially
wrong as hell.
Officially, it started with Columbus taking indigenous people from the Caribbeans and bringing them to Lisbon, Spain. I don't know whatever he's talking about like Africans and Europeans slavery beforehand. That wouldn't be even considered the transatlantic slave trade yet. That would be considered medieval European tradings with the Moorish Empire. That's not the transatlantic slave trade, sir.
Are we having friendly fire right now?
Colonialism.
Yeah, can I please put me on a big screen as well, please? Because I already explained to him that to be a transatlantic first across the Atlantic.
You got a bad connection, Jay Bird.
And also be traversing across the Atlantic. Dang, hold on a second.
We hear you. I can hear you fine now.
Hold on a second.
My bad, 16th century. So again.
All right. When he come back, I got it. Seems like Jay Bird got the waifu over there. Got the
he on the continent.
So
yeah, the waifu. It doesn't seem like it. That connection. What's up? Oh yeah, shout out to Hulu. Why does it not update who sent me gifts on here? Unless y'all left or something. But yeah, Hulu's been sending a lot of gifts. She's not even ranked right now.
Well, anyway, my bad. It was the 16th century, not the 15th century. But anyway, no, the transatlantic slave trade is not counting alleged Africans in like 1430. It's starting with the Europeans coming to the North to the Caribbean island. Prior to that, that's not dealing with the transatlantic slave trade. That's not chattel slavery.
You got it, Jay Bird? Dang,
I never saw slavery. Chattel. Yeah, all right, hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You lagging though.
What the heck?
I don't know. You on that waifu right now.
I
don't know where the fire is, but you definitely on the food. You got 4 bars. All right, I can see you now. The quality is not the best though. I can
Hold
see
on.
you though. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to
I'm
see your
saying
source.
that he keeps on. Well,
Dang.
I don't even know to see the he keeps on thinking transatlantic solely means across the Atlantic to America. It means also across the Atlantic to Europe. And the reason I brought it up for someone asking in the comments was the fact that it also decimated the number of West Africans in different regions in which they were taking people hostage and putting them into slavery. So the Portuguese and the Spanish had started to create slave trading ports in Africa that were then also utilized to transport slaves across the Atlantic. But the thing that you're not seeing is that this literally, these ports were bringing Africans to Europe, which is across, using the water to cross to go upwards, not all the way directly across the opposite direction. They're traversing from one continent to another using the coastline, and they're trading that way. That's also considered part of the transatlantic slave trade, and it's because it had nothing to do with Europe, with America, in West, and I the number of slaves. It's like every causes my connection. Okay. That's population. So what people don't take into consideration is where people come from.
Man, nah, I don't know what's going on with Jay Bird right now. But yeah, you are in the Matrix. You're in the goddamn Matrix.
To
That's
respond to that, he said 1444 with his source, but he actually said on the panel is 1430, which that ain't got nothing to do with the transatlantic slave trade. That's the medieval period. So again, that's not even them starting to enslave people at all. And if we're gonna do that, then so-called white indentured servitude and sex slavery,
that's
right
kind
now,
of so-called
trans. All right.
What, you at a party right now? A gathering?
I'm
Say y'all having a party over there. You order some buffalo wings, Tyrone? Too much guy, yeah, hella shit going on. I thought that boy was at a party. I was like, okay, I see you, Tyrone. What's up? What's up, DMG? We got a cool DMG in the building. Damn. Yeah. But Chef, we even. Oh, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gifts. Peace, man. Hey, and I got a heart. Oh, I'm feeling special today. What's the actual topic that we talked? Well, it's been all topic for a minute, but will the diaspora wars ever end? So I made this topic because on Twitter, like the live, tap the live. On Twitter, South Africans are pissed off at New Orleans, and somehow the rest of America is dragged in it. Now we don't have no culture. We got a million baby mamas. We're always in jail.
You know what it is, bro. They just need an excuse to get what was already on their chest off of it. You know.
You're right. You know what? That makes sense. Yeah, but
why is there a Zulu parade? Like, I'm not saying it's offensive because from what I've seen, it doesn't look offensive. I mean, I'm not Zulu, so I probably shouldn't have an opinion on that. But why do you guys have a Zulu parade?
I ain't from New Orleans. You gotta ask them
New Orleans. New Orleans. Where does that stem from?
So it stemmed from they used to make fun of us during these Mardi Gras parades. So they would do like minstrel shows of us, and then they would I think they used like a Zulu theme minstrel show. So we kind of like took it and then just made it our own thing. Instead of them trying to make fun of us, we embraced it. And so that's basically what it was. Just how they called us the N-word, then we just turned it around and then,
Where's CR at? Go ahead.
So white people always had this this notion that you guys were African, even though you guys are not, right?
They always had that notion.
No.
So when did they start? I mean, okay, so it's a lie then. So they're like,
Wait, hold on.
blatantly
That's not
lying.
true. So I mean, it's not true. Like if you look at like even Portugal in 1755, they signed a royal decree to tell the colonizer, hey, stop referring to the indigenous people as Negroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that in itself should give you like a little clue right there. But these people have
Why
been
though?
okay. So it's to basically to kill our rights to the land, right? If we think,
Unalive.
yeah, my
No,
bad,
I mean,
unalive.
like, why did
Drop
they?
some proofs in the chat, y'all.
Why did they stop calling Indigenous Americans Negro?
They
Or
didn't.
did they ever stop?
They
They
didn't.
didn't
It was
stop,
not until
right?
Obama got in office.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so your opinion, of course, your opinion is that Black Americans are indigenous to this land, but like, of course, there was, like, TikTokian said that there was a point where they stopped calling them Negro.
Yeah, when Obama
Or
got in
the
office, he got
Portuguese
rid
told
of
them,
Negro
or
and
at least
Oriental.
the Portuguese told told these European Americans or whatever to stop calling indigenous Americans Negro. But why? What,
Because
like,
they
what's
ain't
the distinction?
But
because
just think
they
about
not
it.
Negroes.
Just think about it. That's 250 years after they got here, right? So 250 years of them referring to people as Negro, enslaving them under that classification, selling them right to other parts of the Americas as well under that classification. All
Yeah.
right. Does the light bulb go off now or no? I don't know.
Cut out. Yeah, cut off. You cut out a little bit.
My two
Yeah,
cents
you
on
did
that
cut
whole
off.
debacle with the Zulu and the South Africans complaining about Mardi Gras Indians. For one, you got a lot of people that back in the day when Mardi Gras was invented, you had those that were into this back to Africa stuff that was educated, and they were appropriating random things in Africa, and they decided to convince Black Americans to move there and think that's their only home. Whereas a lot of these people already had indigenous roots, but they were cut off
What's up,
from
Joyful?
claiming like Choctaw or what's that? Any indigenous tribe out there in Louisiana, they banished them from claiming their Indian identity because they wanted them to just claim Negro. And when you go back into the records, the thing is with Obama, he tried to erase not only Negro, but also Indian and Oriental. So when you're looking back into these records, it causes confusion because of these political corrections that are trying to erase historical evidence that we were already indigenous to this landmass. Because Negro and Indian, these definitions are interchangeable. So is Oriental.
Mm-hmm.
So when they brought in that word Native American, that doesn't apply to the American Indian that's on the law books. It applies to a bunch of white people trying to appropriate Indianness. That's what it originally meant, like the Native Miss Know Nothing Party, which was started by a bunch of white settlers up there in New York, trying to delineate from Europeans that were coming here that they didn't consider white. And I land my plane right there.
For sure. Yeah, I don't even know if she went. Who is Dick Tracy? Who's these people? Like, what do you mean by that, Tracy? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? You speaking Creek? How do I send the gift? Oh, they're sending gifts on TikTok, CO. I don't know how you send gifts on YouTube. Yeah, they're sending me gifts on TikTok. Natchez, Shatta, Chickasaw, Eshak, Muskogee, Seminole. Mute the noise in the background. Oh, she must be talking to Tyrone. Cause I ain't. Or Creek must have a hot mic, actually. You get a chance to speak? Oh, yeah. Have you got a chance to speak, Lux? Hello. What's up, Miss B Ready? How you doing? My mama's highly indigenous. Your mama is from Congo. How about you come up here, Cara? How about you come up here and tell us? Like, what do y'all gain out of that? Like, y'all not stopping nothing. Like, oh, you probably can't even name nobody in the Congo right now.
But no, the only time I spoke was to get two people to stop talking over one another.
Oh.
Hey,
Mhm.
Darvid.
Hold on, don't you hear her talk? Don't you hear the lady talking?
Hey, Darvid, I got a question.
Don't you hear the lady talking?
Yeah, I hear her talking, but I got a question.
Then mute your
Darvid.
mic. Like, why are you trying to talk to me and the lady speaking right now? Mute your mic.
But nothing. That's disrespectful.
But yeah, go ahead, Lux.
Will the diaspora wars ever end?
Hey, y'all from Africa, bro.
Man, yo, like, why do y'all get up here and act like, why do y'all act like y'all the main character of these live
y'all
streams?
older than me.
Like, get off the stream, dude. Like, you're a kid. Like, bye. Like, let the woman talk. Like, who raised y'all?
No decorum. Are Black Americans African? No, ma'am. Nope.
Is that all you had to say, Lux?
Pretty much.
All right, appreciate you.
I wanted to stay on the panel just in case stuff gets crazy. You feel me? Just to monitor.
Oh, what's up, Haley?
Like, people talking over each other and people just being ignorant.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got news. What's up, King?
What's good?
I see you, King. What's going on?
Not much. So listen, this is what I really wanted to contribute to the conversation, right? I've been noticing since I was in Charlotte. This is about 7 or 8 months ago when they really started to really poke at us. The real thing is, if you ever ask them, right, what have they ever contributed on the global scale? And it's nothing. So they're very jealous of us and our contributions on the global scale because we're more of a player. We have way more influence than all these other nations. When you think about everything we've invented, that's what really get them too. When you name all our inventions and then ask them Nigerians, the Kenyans, you ask them the Ghanaians, those from Mozambique, you name, what have y'all ever invented? What have y'all done as a people? Who are y'all as a people? And it is silence. The whole panel is silent. That's why they are very jealous, because you can go down a list of everything we've ever invented, everything we've done. They know who we are. We're major players on a global scale.
I don't think that's the issue, though. From what I've researched, is they're classing it as cultural appropriation. And
what's cultural appropriation, Ty?
Say that again.
Culture appropriation of what? Exactly. Who we appropriate culturally?
No, but here's the thing. I don't think it's just.
And then on top of that,
can I chime in a little piece?
Hold on, one second. I'm talking right now. Well, go ahead, Ty.
So yeah, how comes? So when I searched the Zulu parade, how comes they do blackface?
I'm not from New Orleans, so I can't answer that.
But could you see how that could be an issue and disrespectful?
All right, so I just broke it down a little bit earlier, but I'll do it again. So, we weren't allowed to be at these Mardi Gras parades and stuff like that, and white tea people would, mock us by pretending to be Zulu characters and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So they did it. We took it and incorporated it into our parades, right? So that we can basically tell them, like, hey, this ain't bothering us. We embrace it type ish, and then we just kept the going. You know what I'm saying?
You also have these white supremacists.
Hold on, one second. Tyrone, your mic too loud for you to be talking right now. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, TikTokian. Weren't there actual Zulu members participating in the parades there?
Probably later on, not when it first started. I think it started like in like 1907 or something like that, 1909, and then officially in 1916. And then they carried on, but probably like later on in like the 1960s or something like that.
Okay, because I've seen videos of people, because it goes around like they're not even dressed like Zulu people. Like, it looks like just regular Mardi Gras Indians to me. I don't know.
Yes,
man, this was always a thing. Like, if you look at the World's Fair or the Chicago Exposition in 1893, they had they had an exhibit for us, the colored people of the Americas, but instead of having us actually there, they brought in people from the Dahomey tribe to basically pretend to be us, the Macas, basically. So yeah, check that out, 1893.
Wow.
I've got a controversial take though. I feel like Black Americans should stop referring to themselves as African Americans.
That's not controversial. We don't want to do that anyway.
Oh, it's not.
I mean, it is somewhat controversial if you're talking about.
Well, outside of the UK, it's definitely a I mean, outside of America, it's definitely a controversial take.
Yeah, like Jesse Jackson got sued.
What makes you say that?
Because I feel like Black Americans have been there for nearly over 400 years now, so you are more or less indigenous to that land. Black Americans more or less helped build America.
Here's like a little comic strip that they had of it. This is back in 1893. If y'all want to take a look.
Let me see. Dark. Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, this at the Library of Congress. Yeah.
But how do you take something like this and make it positive? I don't see how you don't do it. Same
thing with the N-word, brother.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Same thing with the
I mean, the N-word
isn't
necessarily positive.
The question is, why are we always the topic of discussion? Why do y'all think that is?
Because, bro, we're it.
Not always.
Can I say a little bit?
Go ahead, Hot Boy.
All right, you know what I'm saying? I just want to chime in a little bit about she asked a question earlier about why not Negro and why they changed the name from Negro. So if you go back to 1988 when they did the little, you know what I'm saying, survey and everything like that, and Jesse James was a part of this to change the name from African American because there's so much power in the name Negroid, because Negroid had world archaeologists coming over here and they studied this whole North and South America thing, and they called a lot of things Negroid. So they knew who the peoples was, and they knew it wasn't African. That's why they didn't say African. You know
Jesse Jackson, MT.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when they looking at stuff like the Old Mace, the Aztecs, the Mayans, all this stuff, they calling all this stuff Negroid features. So it was just too much in being called a Negro. So they're like, okay, we got to get them out of being thinking that they Negroes. So we got to call them something else. But like you said, we took that. We took that, like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't take it as negative because it was already relative to us, who we are. That's why we still say it today, and we got a little slang with it, but we still know it, you know what I'm saying? Whether they was calling us the DG, the nigger, the Nagas, or the Negroes. It was always something that we had for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? It was never ignorant.
Well,
they try to flip it to make you feel like, oh, a nigga is ignorant, so you just run away from what it is that you is. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to take who you are, take your language and your land.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying? It's always been a master plan.
Exclusive to America?
Negro is basically ancient Americans, not no African Americans, not no Afro Americans, none of that.
That's the thing, though. Like, they called Africans like Negroes far before. Even the independence of America, right?
When's the first time they called Africans Negroes?
Negroes.
Well, I can give you an instance. Hold on.
No, I want a timestamp. I was about to say they actually differentiated the Negroes in America and the Negroes from Africa. Negro to Terra, Negro to Guinea.
Well, bro, the word Negro, it comes from the Spanish.
Yeah. And they've been calling Americans Negro for a long time. Damn near as long as they have been calling Africans.
Yeah, it's not about black, brother. Trust me, it's not, because they were in India as well during that time period, and they never referred to those people as black. I mean, or Negro. Okay. They referred to them as like
read the Bible.
Okay, so
Marano,
this is from
Prieto, Esco.
Hold on. She said she got the big screen, y'all. Go ahead. You said 1300s. What letter is that?
I'll tell you later, but this is basically referring to the people of Guinea, which is in Africa, West Africa specifically, quote unquote, or the land of Negroes. You see it right here.
That's not even 1300.
No, this is from the 1300s. Hold on.
No, it's not.
It can't
says
be.
1445.
Yeah, because I was gonna say because they didn't get there till like 1440, 1450.
Yeah, I was about to say it's saying 1445 in there, so it's after 1445.
No. This is what? No, this has been written. No, this is what I mean by that is a lot of this is basically an explanation of a primary source from the 1300s. I forgot about the name. Hold on.
You forgot about that.
And B, they didn't get to the West Africa until the 1440s or something like that.
Basically. But yeah, same thing, basically similar. 1453.
They were calling Americans Negroes too in the 1400s.
Negroes.
But yeah, what's the difference?
Africans.
Negro to Terra and Negro to Guinea. Then Negroes of Africa is Negro to Guinea, and Negroes of America are Negro to Terra.
Okay, but they were still considered Negroes in the 1400s.
Wait. Are you saying Africans were considered Negroes?
In the 1400s, yeah, and probably during the Spanish and the Portuguese around the 1300s. I don't know where it went, but yeah.
Oh, man, let me explain it to you like this, right? The Negroes actually migrated. It's called the Diaspora. This is the diaspora, basically. When they ran into Africa, ran into Western Africa. But that is the diaspora is just the dispersion of us, the Negroes. They landed in these lands. That's why it was called Kingdom of Judah, a Negro land. But those are different than the Africans, and this is why they wanted up selling Africa.
Wait, the Kingdom of Judah wasn't in West Africa, bro.
Yes, it was, and this is why they wanted up selling these people, because they looked at them like they were treating on their land. We're not the same people. You can look at us.
This is Hebrew Israelite doctrine you're talking about now.
Yeah, that too. But these are facts. These are
actually speaking. Cool, yeah, go on.
So we're a part of the Negro diaspora or the Hebrew diaspora.
I don't know what he's talking about.
The diaspora is just a diaspora. It's just meaning the dispersion. It's dispersion of a certain people. They're tracking a certain people when they went to sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, and they dispersed into different places, right?
It was the Spanish and the Portuguese referring all black people as Negroes.
I have a question for
I feel like
for Ty and Vivi. So if these people were called Negroes in Africa, why don't y'all use that word?
No, Africans wasn't calling Africans. Wait.
No, original. Why wouldn't we? We have our own tribes. We have our own ethnicities. Why would we?
Okay, then that's the point, right? A lot of stuff is very simple, and some of it's common sense, right? So if y'all were considered Negroes, y'all would be calling yourselves that. Like in my household, we say
no.
Listen,
no, original.
Let me finish.
Let me say this before you finish.
Wait, hold on. She's kind of right, brother. From North America to South America, we use that word.
We use that in our household still to this day.
Georgia?
We use that. So if that was considered Negroes in Africa, or y'all believe as though that Africans are considered Negroes, why don't y'all use that? That's our slang.
You know what?
Yeah, because there were more of us
Where did the
than
word
them.
Negro come
So
from?
we had more of a political influence in our own countries. That's not
No,
the case
you're making stuff more difficult than what it is. This is why you guys cannot process
it's not
information
difficult. Like I
correctly.
said, Africa
it is
predominantly
It is.
black.
Y'all are making it
So when did they
difficult
stop?
when it's not difficult.
It's too many mics going off, y'all.
No one
Too
hear
many
me
mics.
Let's first find out where did the word Negro come from?
It came from the Spanish.
The Europeans, right?
It deprived basically of our phenotype. You know what I'm saying?
But the Europeans
the way our
invented that word.
Yeah,
right?
I ain't gonna say they invented that.
And we can first start finding
because they didn't invent it. They didn't
when
invent Spanish.
Europeans invaded Africa, right?
Spaniards speak Spanish, right? They didn't invent the language, so they didn't create the word.
Huh? Bro, did you just say Spaniards speak Spanish and they didn't invent that? Bro, what is this conversation? Like, what are we doing right now?
What did the Spaniards speak? What language did they speak?
Oh my God, bro.
Latin. They spoke Latin. In Spanish.
Latin.
Yeah, the Moors created Spanish.
Same thing. Okay, damn.
There you go. You're right. But if they were Negroes,
my whole point was Africans weren't calling Africans fucking Negroes. Oh, my bad for the language. But yeah, Africans weren't calling Africans Negroes. It was Europeans referring to Africans as Negroes.
That's the point. That's the point
my whole
that
point.
I'm making, right? That's the point. You guys
you're
don't
agreeing with
consider
Haley.
yourself Negroes. Y'all don't even use that word until you either come to America or you have some type of American influence.
Bro, remember the Americans wasn't the only one that suffered from cattle slavery. It happened in the Caribbean as well. I'm Jamaican.
But that's still America. What are you talking about?
Are you Jamaican,
That's
Ty?
what I'm saying. Y'all have to do actual research.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Okay, so Ty is he's from Jamaica, so he's kind of part of this conversation.
Yeah, I am deep involved in this conversation.
No, it's a part of America, though. But it doesn't matter. You can still be a part of something and still not know your knowledge or your history of where you're from. That doesn't mean nothing. We have people in America.
This whole life,
Jamaicans were called Negroes.
That doesn't.
This whole life, you Americans. Let me not say it like that. But Americans have been denying their ancestry. I'm confused as into why you guys want to deny Africa.
Because we're not from Africa.
What ancestry?
Yes, you're not from Africa. You ain't from Africa.
No,
ancestors
I'm
are from
not.
Africa.
No,
My
I'm not. No, my ancestors are not from Africa.
You cannot tell.
Hispanics and Latinos call themselves Negroes.
All right, it's too many. Dude, time out. It's too many. Why do y'all get so excited? Hold on one second. Why do y'all get so excited? Y'all hear somebody get super excited. Like now it's a million mics flying off.
As a grown man, I've never thought to tell someone who I've never met who their ancestors were, where their ancestors are from. What gives you the goal?
Bro, you was just saying, you were just talking about the kingdom of Judah is in West Africa. Bro, don't talk to me about that.
Go read a map.
So if you're gonna bring up the Bible, you'll know that we come from Shem and y'all come from Ham.
Okay.
Just like
can people just speak on their own families, please?
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I'm gonna agree with that. That's everything is kind of biblical, nothing is new under the sun. But my thing is, yes, exactly. Telling people who they are is crazy. You don't know anything about my ancestry. You just think I'm a Black American, and you're just going with the rhetoric that our ancestors came from Africa. I know my genealogy. I've been told who I was since I was a child, and so has my mom.
I'm about to clear some space up.
Yeah, I have all of my documentation. So
yeah, but I think we're talking about the Black Americans in general, not just to you.
What you
don't know you. We're speaking.
But we know our people, right? Is what we're saying. We know our people. We're not denying other people who may have African lineage, but majority. We're speaking on majority because we know our kinfolk. We know our people. It's not really hard.
What's up, Granny?
So that's all I'm saying. Like telling people who they are.
So if you subscribe to the biblical doctrine of like the Hebrew Israelites, you're still African. You're still African.
No, stop that.
Your ancestors still come
let
from
me know when I can speak. Right? So let me know when I can talk.
Goddamn, Spark, are you coming in hot?
If you
if
you pull up the Oxford Dictionary, if you want to be biblical, so biblical, right? Since you keep on bringing up Hebrew Israelites, then you will understand what families came from.
You got a nice mix of a panel up here.
You'll see that the land is
Indians,
separated.
we got Israelites.
We got Shemitic race, we got the Hamite race, and we got the Japhet, race. This is like ethnicity, if you want to say, for the sake of the argument, so to speak. So basically, nowhere in the Bible.
You a descendant of
all we need is a more up here.
Hold on. Nowhere in the biblical Bible does it say that Noah showed up on the ships with his 3 different baby mamas. No, it said 3 different sons and their wives. It was 8 on the ship. So we know it's 3 different ethnicities and it's 3 different land masses of people that were separated. So therefore, like, why you all want us to be African so damn much? Like, I don't get it. Why, like, we don't even look like y'all. We don't play basketball like y'all. We don't talk, dance, rap, do hair, cook chicken. None of that.
What do you look like?
None of that.
Nah, bro, what?
I got my picture up. I got my picture.
You know what's funny?
You look like a Black man.
I've seen.
What, bro? You look.
What is going on? Time out, y'all. Time out. One mic. Like we asked. April. Hot mic.
What was that?
In motherly things. What's going on? So we got a nice diverse panel right now. As you can see. Where you from again, Sparkle? You from Ethiopia, ain't you?
You have to unmute Sparkle.
Yeah, I think she's from East Africa somewhere. We got East African, we got a Jamaican, West African, we got some Hebrews, we got Indians up here. All right, cool. Sounds like we having a party right now. So yeah, where we you got a hot mic, Chris. Yeah, please mute your mics when y'all come up here. All right. What's up? Not go off.
Sorry, bro, go on.
But yeah, what y'all talking about? Hebrew? Okay.
I'm just more or less trying to explain to this man here that it's okay for your ancestors to be from Africa. That don't mean you're African, bro. It don't mean you're African. You are American. Your bloodline has been in America for over 400 years. But your ancestors, bro, they're African.
How do you know? How do you know?
All we need is a more up here, man.
Because
Gauntlet will be complete.
Hold
on, real quick. He keeps telling people who they are. Like, why do you keep doing that?
Originally, your ancestors are African.
Goddamn, why is it so many mics coming off? Y'all relax, dude. Relax. Hey, come on, bro. Chill out. Everybody ain't got to fly off the mic every time they hear something. I get it.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
I get it. Like, my folks. I'll say this. I'll just be clear. Like, my folks, I ain't find no African ancestry. I've done my genealogy. I'm back in the 1500s, 1400s, 1300s. Even go back further if we go off archaeology. It's just things like that.
And wait, let me say this: just because you have brown skin doesn't mean you're black.
What does that mean?
The term. What does that even mean? The term black was given
also
to lost
doesn't make you
Americans.
African. Use
No,
that
wait.
same. Use
the
that
word-
and then apply it to America.
1 second, y'all.
No, I'm not, because he's sitting here on the panel trying to tell people who they are.
But
Just
how
like
is
you
that
use that same, just like you use that same rhetoric, use it for all brown people or copper
No,
colored
you
people who are
can't.
not African. You can
can't
do
because
it the
Indians are
same
brown.
way.
Indians are brown, but they're not African.
I'm brown. I'm brown. Like, what does that mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I want to clarify something about
Come on, oh my gosh,
Indians. So let me speak, right? So who said that about Indians? Is it Ty the Clan?
Wait, what did I say?
What Indians are you speaking about? What Indians are you speaking about?
What did you hear?
Okay, so when we talk about South Indians, right? They do have a close relation within their DNA to East Africans. So when you look at the Horn of Africa, where I'm from, a lot of those South Indians trace their ancestry back to the Horn of Africa.
Facts. I agree with that so much.
Okay, so look, I understand that race is it's confusing, right? Because black and white is what confused us. But it's not just black and white, it's white supremacy that confused us, because the white supremacist ideology was to group people into colors and to what is it called? Not features.
Phenotypes.
There's another word. Yes, phenotypes. This is
Phenotypes
false.
is basically
This is
looking
false,
at my bone
because
structure and your bone
humanity
structure. Like,
is so
we're
bad.
not the same.
Bro,
What the hell? Why are you so
we can
loud,
all be.
Sparkle?
It's not
Why are
about
you
being
so
the
loud?
same or not be. Look, hold on, listen to me. It's not about being the same or not the same. We are all human beings at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right? But
Okay.
when we talk about history, the history that was presented to us by the white people is completely false.
Right.
Okay. Listen.
And
That's his
Yo,
story.
can we?
My
so when
story
they talk
turned
about
into
race,
mystery.
We all can't. I'm about to clear the stage. We all can't talk together. Like, come on, bro. I'm not about to keep repeating myself. Like, dude, this does nothing. There's people listening, and I'm sorry. Yeah. Let Sparkle finish. Let Sparkle finish. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Nobody interrupt her. I'm clearing the stage.
So when these white people, the European, when they started colonizing other regions, right? The Europeans, they led by their own
history of what humanity went through, which was false. It was completely false, right? So the white supremacists' ideologies, we still live by those ideologies. Light skin, dark skin, featureism, hair types. Everything that we think is beautiful is according to white supremacy. This is so fucked up. I'm sorry to use the F word, but this is so messed up to us Black people because we don't look like them. We don't. So everything that is beautiful has to look like them. It's confusing. You know? So it puts us in a messed up situation.
I got a question.
But look, as Black people, we have to remember this. Yes, we are all diverse. Yes, we all come from different regions, but we are all Black. We are all. I'm African. I will always claim African, right? Because that's where I'm from. I'm from the Horn of Africa. Even though I was born in Canada, I'm still African. I love my people and I love being Black.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all I have to say. I
That's
cannot
all you have to
speak.
say.
But one thing I want to say this as well. I want to make something clear. For other Africans to tell Black Americans, this is how you have to identify, or you need to think like us. That's wrong. These people have been in America for 500 years. They've developed their own situation. They have their own culture. They have their own. They're completely different from us now. So let them be that. If they want to acknowledge the fact that they're from Africa and they want to integrate with different African communities, let them do that freely.
But Sparkle,
don't force it on people.
Sparkle, this is the problem. They completely deny their African ancestors.
Let them deny it. So what? So what? No, but listen. In life, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. In life, people want to do what they want to do. Let them do that. They've been in America for 600 years, 500, 600
I'll bring you back
years.
up, Haley. Bye, Tyrone.
Listen to me. They've been in America for 500, 600 years. Let me tell you this. How many people are copying Black Americans today? The whole world. They're so influential that everybody's copying them. Okay, I understand they're Black. They're from Africa. I get that point. But they made their own mark in America. They are from America now. They're not from Africa
I
anymore.
agree with you.
So leave them alone. Let them do what they want to do. And I respect Black Americans and I love you. And if it wasn't for you, my people wouldn't have entered America in the 90s. When Somalia was going through the civil war, we had to come as refugees to America. So if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. That's all. And that's it. Stop antagonizing people.
For sure. Appreciate you, Sparkle. Who we got? Who wants to follow up after that?
I do. I love that. I mean, oh, go ahead, Jay Bird.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. Take your time.
No, I was just saying I love that. I'd rather them be on the like, oh, we are from America, we've been here, like we appreciate y'all, but y'all probably might still be from Africa. I'd rather them be on that accord than making us African all together and not knowing us or our genealogy, because I feel like that's a step moving forward. You know what I mean? And that kind of goes back to the question on the panel. When will the war end? It will end when everybody's on the same accord, or people realize who we are and we start claiming. And we're doing stuff like this on the panels, you know, defending our ancestry, defending things like that. We have to do these things. And I don't mean to come off rude or whatever when I was on the panel, but I don't play about my ancestors. I don't play about my ancestry. My ancestors be coming right through me. So I like when they be on that kind of, you know, they're getting somewhere. They're appreciative of us and they know who we are.
All right.
Oh, go ahead if you was gonna go host. I just
go ahead, Jay Bird. Just go ahead.
Okay. So I think the biggest disconnect that there is that like people, they don't do enough research on themselves and then they tell other people who they are. Like A lot of these people that claim that they are African, but they live in America, I guarantee you have not even done enough research to find out who their third, fourth, fifth grade ancestor is. Like, meanwhile, people that claim that they're indigenous have genealogical records to prove it. It's not like we talk out of our butt. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if we have African ancestry in our ancestry, like if individually, because you can't speak for every Black person in America, who cares? Like, people would not discredit the fact that they have African ancestry. Some people do have African ancestry. Who's gonna sit there and be like, I'm still not African? The people telling you guys that they're not African have done genealogical record or research, sorry, to say that, hey, guess what? I haven't found any African. Matter of fact, I found this line of indigenous, this line of indigenous, this line of indigenous, this line that they lied about but ended up being indigenous. That's what we're doing. That's what we're telling you guys. And you guys sit there and say, you guys are African. Okay, we might have come from Africa the same time period where Australians came from Africans. At that point, then everybody is African. Just because we're Black and we have a phenotype that looks like African people, so do people in Australia, Melanesia, Micronesia, some places in Polynesia, and different places in Europe used to have people that were phenotypically Black
But
before
look,
they got
listen,
kicked out.
Jaybird,
out of Africa.
host, can I say something? Jaybird, it's
Is
not
Jay
about.
done? Is Jay
I
done
wasn't done.
speaking?
I
No,
was
go
not
ahead,
done.
please.
When you
Go ahead.
look at our culture, there's things that are inherently ours that has never been practiced outside of Black American culture, which is why, even like Sparkle said, people copy us. Haircuts and barbershops, that is strictly an American thing. Barbershops literally comes from an American like dialect and everything like that. Like, that whole practice is ours. Wigs, that's ours. The fact that people don't even see, when you look at an Indian burial mound, an Indian burial mound is the same thing as the temples, the what is it called? The tombs in the Valley of the Kings. They're like identical. But you guys want to sit there and say, oh, we've only been here for 400 years. We have been here, and so
One
much
second,
are
yo,
a
I'll
part
be
of it.
back.
We are so much are a
Yo, I'll
part
be
of it.
back.
We are so in the earliest times of ancestry.
My mic is muted.
Now can we hear you? Anyways, and when people were looking at our artifacts found in America before DNA testing was done, everyone had a common agreement that all of these artifacts had to have come from Africa. Specifically, let's talk about this one. This one is called the Tuxtla statuette. When this artifact was found, they initially said slaves must have smuggled it across to America because it's inherently African. It's legitimately African. But they analyzed the words, the writing on this side, and they said it's comparable to Yoruba. And guess what? When then carbon dating came out, they said, matter of fact, actually, this got to be American Indian because it's over 1,200 years old. And then they try to switch the entire narrative. That's the same thing they do. There's no DNA remains that predates 12,000 plus years. Yet when they do DNA research, they sit there and they find one little piece of DNA that is found in a Native American population that's not found in other people. And then they automatically say that people that carry that at a high percentage must be the original people there, because they expect that when you migrate to a place, you're automatically going to be inbred just like the rest of Europeans. All right. No phenotype that is not Black exists without inbreeding happening. That's the only way recessive genes can even become prominent in a population. So when people sit there and say, oh, this, like, for example, Lucia had a very small amount of Austronesian ancestry. So do I in my DNA. My DNA literally says I have a small amount of Austronesian ancestry and Indian ancestry. Right? That would put me directly in line
Did you get
with
any?
being related to.
Hold on. Jaybird, did you get any East African?
I believe so. But it was like Northeast African, like Egyptian.
Well, Jaybird, I have Chinese.
Did you get Ethiopian or Kenyan?
You guys are asking questions. I'm not done yet. Let me finish what I'm saying, because none of that DNA stuff is actually legitimate, anyways. All right, we can get into that on a whole nother part of the live. But what I'm saying is,
yes, it was.
Can I please finish what I'm saying? Please, I let you talk for like 4 minutes straight. I'm just asking for a little space. Thank you. When they do the genetic DNA studies, they are not necessarily telling the entire truth. That's how you tell a perfect lie. So they said, Lucia was Melanesian. She had Melanesian ancestry, and she had a small amount of influence from those people. And they show that another person from her burial site had an afro, but they don't give her hair, and they make her into a Black person. They don't talk about all the rest of the DNA found. And then they analyze 2% of our DNA, and they say, oh, we are related to West Africans based off of these DNA groupings and autosomal DNA. But autosomal DNA it's changed due to admixture. But when they look at our Y chromosomes and our different haplogroups that we have, they're not only found in Africa, they're found in other places and other people, however much prominent it is. And on top of that, the same thing with Europeans. Europeans have DNA that is still found in Africa to this day, but they get to classify themselves as a different people because they phenotypically look different. They're more related to Africans than Black Americans are. As a matter of fact, that is actually true. That is actually true. So the thing is that when you sit there and you say, oh, let's rely on DNA, no, let's look at the culture, let's look at our heritage, let's look at our genealogical records, let's look at what history says. DNA can't tell you an ethnicity.
History proves that you're African, bro. It's that simple. But you just said let's look at what history says. History says that your
history does not say that Africa, bro. History does not say that every Black person in America comes from Africa. Hey, I will literally embarrass you up on this live, bro. I will pull up sources that will just disprove anything that you have to say. There's sources that I have that talk about how people would trade indigenous slaves before Africans came to America. Then all of a sudden they started trading Africans.
Of course, Africans had boats.
Africans had boats. You are not even making
bro. You're making a very loaded point. How is anyone gonna respond to what you're saying, bro? You're talking for like 5 minutes straight, bro.
Did anyone interrupt Sparkle? She talked for like 7 minutes.
Bro, I tried to.
You tried to, but the host told you to shut up and listen because you don't have any valuable information to say.
Bro, neither do you.
Yes, I do. Yes, I'm sorry, brother. Yes, I do.
You don't, bro.
I do. Yes, I do. Guess what? Do you know that most of our vernacular in America is actually from American indigenous roots? Most of our vernacular. So the slang words that we use come from different variations of American dialects that were here in America before colonization happened. Then people make the claim that, oh, the foods that we eat were brought by Africans. No, they were brought by the conquistadors, and that's the foods that they ate also. I even made a whole video breaking down all the foods that they say come from Africa that we brought as slaves to America, when all of those foods were also prominent in Europe because of the Moorish Empire being influenced by Africa. Those people Europeans brought African food that they ate themselves to America. That doesn't make us inherently African. Most of our culture, like for example, Africans don't eat turkey. They don't eat cornbread. Cornbread is a part of American culture. That's our culture.
What type of argument is this?
Hey, J-Bird, Africa's a continent. It's a continent.
Okay, but what country?
We eat different foods.
Cornbread?
Don't eat all the same
foods. Africa eats cornbread. What country in Africa eats cornbread?
Yes, we do. We do have.
What country?
Y'all got cornbread in Africa? Oh, y'all got cornbread in East Africa?
No. No, I never said that. I never said that. I'm not hearing. Everybody's talking over each other. What I'm saying is Africans have all different types of food, so we don't all eat the same food.
I didn't say all the different kinds of food. What I literally said was Europeans brought African food that Europeans ate to America. And
what Europeans brought food to my land?
Hold on. Goddamn. Sparkles.
Don't ever say that in your life.
Sparkles.
Don't ever tell me a white man brought me food.
Yeah, they did.
You're lying.
Just like Sally Struthers brought you.
No, I'm angry. I'm angry.
Come on now.
If the chat was listening, I said,
no. White people never gave me fucking food.
Yes, they did. Sally Struthers.
Stop yelling. Stop yelling. Be civilized.
From Africa that they ate to America. I never said anything about African food being brought by Europeans to Africa. I never said that. So you're mad for no reason. Listen. Anyway.
That truth hurt. That truth hurt. That shit hit different, don't it?
Hey, J-Bird, I'm not mad.
Go ahead, J-Bird.
Let me explain something to you. No. Let me explain this. Please, let me explain something to you. Please. All right? When in the 1500s, when the Portuguese came to East Africa, do you know what happened to them? Do you know what the Ethiopians and the Somalis did to the Portuguese?
They fucked them up.
We unalived these motherfuckers.
Unalive.
Right? That's the same thing that happened in Senegal.
We've been unaliving these motherfuckers since the 1500s.
Okay, now here's the
so for you to tell me that these
I never said what you said.
gave me food.
So you're wrong
Are you dumb?
Sally
I never
Struthers.
said that.
No,
I
J
never
bro,
Sally
that's
said
what you said.
Struthers.
So you might
I
have mixed up your words. I can't
I
lie.
never
Ma'am.
said
That's what I
I
heard
never
as well.
said what you
Hold
said
on,
I
Jay
said.
Bird. Let
I
me
said
let me take over, bro.
Europeans brought food from
Man,
Africa
shut
to
the fuck
America.
up.
I said
Mm.
Yo,
Europeans
I my
brought food
stomach hurt, dude. That shit was
from
hilarious.
Africa to America. I never said Europeans brought Africans food, first of all. Second of all, the disconnect is when Europeans went to Senegal, the same thing happened. They got decimated by the Senegalese. When Europeans came to America, they
Okay,
would have
speak
learned
on
to
West
fight
Africa.
to the.
That's
Can
West
I finish a
Africa.
sentence?
That is West Africa. Let's be
I'm
very
connecting it to East
specific.
Africa. I'm connecting it to East Africa. How you said you
East
guys were killing them?
East Africans never let these motherfuckers come near us. The only
Remember, the
people
whole of
that did
Africa
was the
wasn't that
I don't
Bantus,
think that she
and the
has the
Bantus
listening
were from
skills to be on the
Kenya.
panel. I'm
So
just saying
Kenyans, speak to
Please,
Kenyans.
I
my
don't
stomach hurts.
I don't
Please,
think
I
she has
can't take no
listening
more.
skills. Am I
Sparkle.
So
speaking a
stop the
different
cap. You
language
know
or something?
Sally
Because I
Struthers
legitimately
dropped off a bag of rice. Stop. So again, yeah, Jay Bird is
East Africa
I
Real
was
quick,
100%
real quick,
correct.
host. Hey,
What,
thanks
God?
for
Do your
having me up.
history.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop
for
that
Stop
sure.
down
lying
in
on
the
my
Appreciate.
people.
comments.
Do
Oh,
your
no,
history.
sparkle. Somebody's trying to.
what did I say that
Yo,
was a lie, Sparkle?
can y'all let Hot Boy speak real quick? He's trying to get off. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I said thanks for having me and everything like that. I'm gonna drop back down in the comments and
For
continue to
sure.
listen and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'll come
For
back up
sure.
after a while.
All right,
Appreciate
bet.
you.
Appreciate it.
Well, what did I say, Sparkle, that was wrong? What are you upset about? What are you offended by that I said? Because I guarantee you, I did not say what you said. I said
I'm
earlier.
upset about this. Let me tell you what I'm upset about. The fact that you
Just
keep
answer the
grouping
question.
all Africans in one thing. Listen,
What are you
whatever
talking
happened
about?
to West
I
Africa,
pinpointed specific
you let me
regions in
answer.
Africa.
So let me. Oh my God, I don't want to scream. Let me answer.
Please don't, please.
Okay, so let me talk like this. The fact that you keep talking about Africa as a whole, and you keep saying, "Oh, the Portuguese did this, the British did this," sweetheart. Google and research what East Africa. Let me speak. Listen, research what East Africa, the Horn of Africa, what the Horn of Africa did to the Italians, the Portuguese, the British. Google it.
Well, North
From the
Africa and
1500s
Truth about that
to
is
now.
Black Americans taught them how to fight their
Google
ass.
it.
Google
Google is free. Google
It's gonna get
is
to a
free.
point.
Can we have a bit of solace? Can we have a bit of calm?
Yeah,
I want to emphasize one point, please. My only point to emphasize is, you see how a particular group of people who share DNA, right? Let's assume you're West African or West African diaspora by default. You need to understand that the East African is not your people. The reason
How
they
would
come
you
into
say that
your
to
life, mute
African
your mic.
Americans?
We know who
African
you
Americans
are,
have
Pastor
all
Willis.
All
African
right,
DNA.
y'all
We
getting a
know
little
who
too
you
out of
are,
your
Pastor
mind. Hold
Willis.
on, one
Mute
second.
your mic.
One second.
Let me
They have
land.
all
Hold on, one
African
second.
DNA.
One second. Calm down. It was funny. It was funny at first. My stomach hurt. I ain't trying to hear nobody screaming because I might piss myself. But with that being said,
Can I just say this regarding to what you said?
Sparkle.
I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting.
I'm not. I get you. I'm trying to say something though. I'm trying to speak right now. I'm trying to get some some control on the stage.
Okay, cool. But let me respond to what he said.
Please. One second, Sparky. 1 second, please. Where's I even about to go? I want to start pulling out the Tussie. Because y'all know I have a no musty quota on my panels. So once the stuff Tussie start coming out, I don't want people to be upset. Because we gotta clean up the mess that's made, right? So let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it at one mic at a time. Yeah, no Tussie.
Okay,
Tussie
so
free
can
live.
I say what I want to say now?
Go ahead.
Before you let anybody else speak?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, look, he said, oh, she's East African, so she can't really speak for African Americans, or I'm not speaking for anyone. I'm speaking on what I believe and what I know. All right. So when I say this,
What do you believe?
Josh, can you
it's
let
not
her
something
finish,
that
please?
hold on. It's not something that I made up. African Americans are from many different African tribes. So me being East African, some African Americans do have East African DNA as well, and also West African DNA. So what is it that you believe? Oh yeah, she can't speak on you. You can't speak on them.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Wait,
still,
who's
All right,
African
thank you.
Americans? Are you
Caribbeans
referring
and
to
Caribbeans.
Oh,
Thank
Wait, let me
you.
say something. Let me
Thank
say
you.
something. Let me say
I'm
something.
confused.
I
Caribbeans.
want to emphasize
He
the
said
fact
that.
that you listen. You
He
need to
said
follow. You need to follow
he
the
said
history
you're
of the.
East
one
African.
mic
You
on,
can't speak on
Can I
African Americans. That's what he
finish?
said.
one mic on Josh,
This
please.
is the pastoralist DNA. You have zero decorum. You don't know how to be civilized, right? You know that the people group for which you are on their panel and in their live are not your people group. But you come
Who
here
are you
to
talking to? Me
antagonize.
or the host?
Yes, you.
Okay, so
Somali
what are you
lady
saying?
and the other Somali youth at
They
the
ain't got no
bottom
followers
floor.
talking.
So because
You
I'm
know that these are
Somali
not
and
your
I'm East
people.
African, I'm not allowed
All
to
right,
be
let
on
me
here?
finish.
Hey, Sparkle,
Let me
let him land.
finish.
What are you saying?
Let him land,
Let me
please.
finish. You know that these are not your people group, right?
Yeah.
These are predominantly Western Central African out of Africa. Why do you need to come here to falsify, present a false narrative,
Falsify.
and then try to confuse the
How am I
whole
confusing?
discussion? Why
How am
don't
I
you go
confusing?
build Somalia?
I'm
Why
African.
don't you go build your motherland?
Oh, so
You
me
Oh.
and
as
your people
me as a
don't
one
Josh,
want
person.
to build
one
Africa.
second, Josh.
Hold on.
One second, Josh. Are you in your homeland?
I am in my homeland at the moment, correct? Yes. I'm a
Where you
farmer.
from?
I do agriculture.
Oh, okay.
And I would like to supply you any products that you need.
He's
as long
lying.
as it's
He's
organic.
lying. He's
Bro,
probably
you're
in
in the UK
America
with me,
or
bro.
England.
My brother,
He's
I'm not in the UK. I left the UK in 2018 because I'm not that stupid to be around white supremacy when I know I have a connection to the motherland. I'm not like you, my bro. You came to the Western world as refugees, and you have no plan to
Who you
go
talking
back.
to?
Who you
Who
talking
you
to?
talking to now?
Somalis came to the Western
He's
world
on
as
our side.
refugees,
He's
Hey,
on our
and
side.
they don't want to
oh my
go
God.
back to build their country.
Somalis didn't come here willingly.
All Somali
Somalis
do,
were
yes, you
forced
did.
to come
Yes, you
here.
did.
We were
mute
forced.
your
No, you was
mic.
not.
All
Somalis were
Somali
forced.
do,
We were
mute your
forced
mic.
to come
All
to the
Somali
Western
do,
world. We
all
did not want
Somali
to come here.
do
My
is to learn
ancestors did not want to
English.
come here.
Once they learn English, they start to infiltrate black spaces on the internet and spread confusion.
And look
I
at
They
have
don't
a
want to go
question.
back home. They don't want to
We got
build.
East versus
Their
West
Josh,
Africa
motherland
right now.
has the
Okay, I want to
greatest
ask you a
level of
question.
famine,
Sparkle,
poverty,
I have a question for
and they're
you.
just
Host, I want
infiltrating
to
black
ask
people
Josh
to
a
spread
question.
confusion.
Now
Stop
we
the
got
I'm
it.
trying to
confusion and
figure
go and
out.
build your motherland.
Can
I
y'all
would
figure
Go
that
build
love,
your
out?
motherland. All right, okay. Why
Josh,
Can
can't
y'all
you
figure
build
that?
I want to
Can we
Somalia?
ask
get
you a
one mic?
question, Josh.
Hold on. Can we get one mic? Thank
Hold
you.
on.
Josh, I
One
Can
want
mic
I
to
on
ask
ask a
you a
Josh.
question
One
for
mic
question.
on
both of them?
Josh. Why can't
Hold
you
on.
build your
Josh,
motherland?
Josh X,
Why
silence.
your men lazy? Lazy
Josh,
ass men
silence.
trying to pretend to be black. You
Yo,
ain't
come on,
black
Josh,
bro.
like us,
silence.
baby girl. You ain't black
Hold
like
on.
the Bantu black.
Josh,
Go
What the
build your
hell?
motherland with
I
the
never
Arab
said I was
people.
Bantu. I'm not
Then
Bantu.
go
I'm
to build your
Cushitic.
motherland with the Bantu people. Why your men so lazy?
So why did you
okay,
go to
Pretending to
Josh,
be
Europe?
black
Why did you go to
American,
the UK?
Josh.
pretending
Did
to
you
be
go to
UK
England?
British.
Yo.
Why did you
Your
I
go
got a
men,
to
question
Bro,
for
England?
what's
both.
rather
going
than
on?
dead
Because
I got a
Muslims,
question
Nigeria
for
is
your
Josh.
men
trashy.
Hold
don't
on.
have no
Yo, one
money.
mic, y'all.
Your
Mute
men
up, mute up,
can't
y'all.
build
Mute up, mute up, mute up. Everybody mute up, mute up. Yo, we got the goddamn. Yo, I just started. Yo, we got a continent battle going on. A continental battle going on. That shit crazy. Wow. We got the East versus the West going on right now. That's crazy.
I want to
Yeah, man.
ask Josh.
The
I want to
East, the
ask
East
Josh a
got
question.
colonized by the Arabs.
Josh, why did
They
you
want to
go to
speak
the
on us.
UK? Why? Why did you go and leave
Tap the
Nigeria
live, yo. Let's
to
get to
go to
25,000
London?
likes.
And I
Why
went
did
there
you
Please.
to
do
go
that?
spend their money.
To spend their money? That's good.
Crime.
That's
Who
good.
told you? Who told
Okay,
you?
look, see, okay,
Well,
now it makes sense.
how come you're
Now
in
it
the
makes
US
sense.
as a refugee?
I
Why
love.
are you
Okay,
a
good.
refugee?
Use
Because
their
your
money.
brothers and
Take their
sisters
money.
don't know how to build nothing.
Oh yeah,
You're
she's
a
not even
Take the
African
white
pastoralist
tea
American.
man
village.
money.
She's
I
a
love
she's
it.
All
Go
you lot
ahead.
do is
Oh, you
all
love the
you lot
white
do
tea
is be
man money.
parasites
Okay.
on planet Earth. How How long are you gonna be a parasite for? Start building
Hey,
shit.
host,
Talk
after
to
this,
your men. Talk to
give me
your
the big
brothers.
screen.
Go and
You
build.
know,
Hey,
technically
Josh,
she's Somalian
what,
still, so
what's
she's
your
an
tribe?
American immigrant.
What is your tribe, Josh?
Uh-oh.
My
What is
tribe
your
is
tribe?
intercontinental African Bantu. But why can't you build? Why
Not a
can't you build
tribe,
the
man.
motherland?
Okay, that's not a
I'm in
tribe.
Africa right
Tell
now.
us your
As I
tribe,
speak
bro.
to you, as I speak to you, I'm in Africa right now.
Bantu
I
is a
need to get a
Eurocentric
4-hour sleep and
phenotype
go into the farm
description
and
given
start
No,
cultivating.
by
Bantu
Wilhelm
is a real
Right?
thing.
You
But
people just pretend
What's your
to
tribe,
be Black
Josh?
Americans.
what is your tribe,
Just
Josh?
because you speak the language, you
Josh,
want to
what are your
pretend to
tribes?
be X, Y, Z.
I'm not gonna lie,
You're
I'm
not
genuinely
black.
entertained right
You're
now.
a pastoralist.
What is your tribe?
I'm Yoruba
genuinely
Igbo.
entertained.
And
Yoruba. Okay, you're
I'm
Yoruba.
Igbo.
So he sold niggas into slavery. Gotcha. So why
No,
is this
he,
nigga
no,
over
he
here
didn't. He
arguing
didn't. He
with
didn't. He
Man,
did. He did not. He did not. His
Tyrone,
Who
I
said that?
almost threw a shoe. Yeah, I almost threw a shoe at you, Tyrone. Let them have their
But
squabble.
the Yoruba were the ones that were sold.
You see, this is what the Somali does. Every time the African tries
Somali
to
and
connect
proud.
to the diaspora in terms of Southern and Northern America, the Somali comes in with their Arab DNA to cause confusion. All they do
I'm not
is
Arab.
obstruct. But why can't you
Hey,
go
Josh, why
build
you
your
keep
land?
saying
Why
this?
can't you go? Listen, I'm in my homeland building
But I'm
good
not Arab
agriculture.
though. I'm
Why can't you go
Kushite.
build with your men? Your men are so lazy. 85% of the Somali population are on housing welfare benefits. What kind of parasites do we have in our
And the
midst?
Nigerians are
And they
not.
want to
And the
educate.
Nigerians
They
are
want
not.
to educate and tell you about
The
progression.
Nigerians are the most
Talking to
people
the
in
Black
the UK
American. You're not
that are
related to
abusing
the
the
Black
system.
American.
No,
The
no, no,
You are
Nigerians
not
are abusing the
related.
no, it's
system.
not.
What are you
No,
talking
you're not.
about?
Sparkle. Don't
You
sleep
are
on
not
the
But the
related
UK,
to the
Nigerians are
Black
the most that are.
American.
They
You
are.
are a pest and a peasant
I'm
and
a
a
peasant.
parasite in
Okay,
this
thank you.
discussion.
Thank
Because
you. Thank
you're
you.
trying to infiltrate said space,
What space?
pretending to be a Black Negroid entity. When
I'm
we all
well.
know that you are
I'm so black.
Afro-Asiatic, right? You're
I'm
an
not Asiatic.
Afro-Asiatic.
I'm from the Horn of Africa.
You're more
Thank
aligned
you.
to the Arabs, but the Arabs don't accept you because they
I'm
consider
not
you to be
Arab.
an
I never
Abid.
wanted to be Arab.
The Arabs consider
The
you to be
Arabs
an
come from
Abid.
us. They came from the
But
Horn of
you
Africa.
worship the Arabs.
The
You
Arabs
literally
came from
lick
East
the ground.
Africa. The
You
Indians
lick the
came from
ground
East
the Arabs work
Africa.
on.
They came from us.
All right,
So what are
okay.
you talking
Tell me
about?
what you're trying to achieve.
What are you talking
Hey,
about?
Sparkle, where did you learn history?
Baby girl, you can't run this game. You can't
Listen,
run
I'm
this
from the
game
Horn
you
of Africa. I
run
have
with the
to know
Black
my history.
Americans with an African. Yeah, we know who you are. I've lived among
You keep
Somali
saying
for 20 years.
You keep saying this, but
I've
Josh.
lived among Somali for
Josh.
20 years. I know
Okay,
who
but
you
Josh,
are.
Josh.
You're a fucking
Your name is not even
degenerate
Josh.
group of
What is your
people
real
who do
name?
not add value to the planet Earth.
Tunde. Tunde, listen to me. All
Don't
right?
tell me Tunde. Tell me what value you're bringing to the
Tunde.
conversation.
That's your real name. Your name is not Josh. Stop playing.
See how the
with me.
East
Tell
Africans
me
were
what
talking about
value you're
us.
bringing to the conversation. We know your people. You have the laziest men on planet Earth. You don't want to build nothing. Your men are basically
Why would
wandering
we
the
want to
whole
build
world.
anything on a white
Your
man's
men
land?
are the only men that cry in prison. You see this lot
Why
here?
do we want to
When
build
they go to
anything on a
prison-
white
Somebody
man's
call Dr.
land?
Umar.
Who wants
In the
to
UK,
build anything on
in
a
the
white
UK, when the Somali man come to prison,
Somebody
the only
call
men
Dr.
that cry. You
Umar.
know why they cry?
Stop
They
it.
don't know how to defend
My
themselves
man,
without a
listen,
crowd.
you keep
They
talking about
don't build
Somali.
muscle like us. They don't have fast twitch reflexes. They don't know how to build muscle.
They
They
just know how
come
to
in there
throw a ball.
skinny you,
And what do you
looking
know?
all vulnerable,
You know how to,
and they
you
get
know,
bullied. They get bullied in prison because they're weak.
Josh,
And this the
Josh,
reason they're weak is
Josh, you're
interbreeding,
weak.
right?
You are the weak man.
These people
You like white
decided to
teeth
do
women.
an
You like slow
interbreeding
bunnies.
exercise
So you
where they
want
to do interbreeding.
Listen. Go Nate.
Now
Listen.
they
You love the
started doing
names. You love the
interbreeding,
white tea
which
man.
meaning
Oh,
fucking
love
each
the
other,
white tea man.
DYT.
brother
The
and
white
sister,
tea.
and then they made
You
a
love the white
generation of
tea.
weak men. And you know, interbreeding affects your brain as well. And this is
Listen,
why those
Sarah
men can
is waiting
build.
for you. The white tea girl
Can you
is
tell us
waiting
why
for you.
Somali?
Oh,
Can you tell us why
What's wrong
DYT.
with
Somalia is the
you?
poorest country in the world, and you're here shouting on the
At
stage?
least we didn't sell out like you. You're
What, you sold out
At
to
the
the
end of the
Arabs?
day,
You're
there is
nasty.
evidence to show that you sold out. The
Any
reason is
man
you
that
sold out to
lands
the
in
Arabs.
Nigeria, the
All
smell
right,
of
why is
sewage,
Somalia part of the Arab League?
shit. You smell
Why
like
is Somalia?
shit.
Why is Somalia Somalia part of the Arab
Nigerians
League and not
smell
the
like
African
shit.
Union.
You
Oh my
guys
gosh.
Why-
smell.
Babe.
You stink.
Every
So what
single
about that?
Somali
You
girl I
stink.
know is in a Nigerian club
Get your
every
hygiene.
weekend. Lying
Your
to her
hygiene
family.
is off.
All
Your
right, y'all.
hygiene.
All
You're
right, y'all.
disgusting.
They're
You're
so broke.
disgusting.
All you have
Get
to do
your
is put them in
hygiene
a
right.
Range Rover and keep
Nigga,
sending it
get your
over the
hygiene
whole
right.
weekend. We're
Who
tired
said
of
dust
this.
versus
What's wrong with
must?
you?
This
Hey,
is
yo,
the easiest
You
pum pum in the
stink.
fucking Europe.
You fucking stink.
all right, y'all.
Everybody
Them
got,
men are
all
so
right, y'all.
stink.
I'm gonna have to drop both y'all, man. Y'all gonna have to, y'all gotta go. Let's get back to the topic. That was a nice entertainment. We had
Bro, that was hilarious.
Yeah, Dust versus
That
Must
was
Requiem.
hilarious. That was hilarious, man.
That was a lot.
That was so funny.
once you
Oh my god.
10
But
out
I
of 10
fuck with Josh
entertainment.
though. I fuck with Josh because he was telling, like, I feel like with Sparkle, she
y'all need a
is.
timeout.
Yeah, they need to drop. That was
Need
too
a
much. But I fuck
timeout.
with Josh though. You know, I don't fuck with disrespect though. I'm not African, so that's them, the disrespectful stuff they got going on. But as far as where he was coming from, they be in our business for real. Like I don't get that either. That's kind of disappointing that they do come in our spaces and try and tell us who we are. And even if we prove it on every American Indian or Black American panel, they'll still tell us we African. That's annoying.
So I found the answer to my question. The diaspora wars ain't never ending. They ain't never ending. Boy.
Because there's xenophobia in Africa, it'll never end. Because you got all these wars.
Hold on, bro. We've never been united.
What are you
talking
about?
I wanted to ask the two Africans on the panel before they got dropped about this picture in the background, and I also wanted to play a game with them because everybody want to go based off of phenotype. We was gonna play the guess where these people is from game, and but legitimately, the last point that I was gonna make before Sparkle had cut me off a long time ago was that, you know, our culture has been similar to African culture, but this is American Indian culture. So it's like we have the same thing going on, and everything that we do, even if it's closely related to Africans, or like not even that closely, it's going to be automatically associated as us being directly descended from Africans. When Malaysians have the same practice as people from the Hadza tribe. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? When is it like such a when does it become hypocrisy to sit there and say, well, Malaysians are super far detached from Africans, but Black Americans are the same people? That doesn't make any sense.
Man, she said Nigerians had a snow bunny crisis. Man, what's up? We got new voices. We got new voices. What's up, Keo? What's up, Miss B?
You know they love them YT women.
Somebody called Dr. Umar.
The craziest thing I ever seen, one of the craziest things I seen was when I seen like a post of Caitlyn / Bruce Jenner was going to like the Met Gala, and you know who he had with him, or she, whatever, a Nigerian.
You man, I'm telling you, in the UK, yeah.
What's up, Skull Island?
Love their white women. They love them.
Man, what's up, Miss B? Ready? How you doing? She like.
I'm great. Hello, everyone. I'm from South Central LA, born and raised. I did my DNA. I'm mixed with everything. You know, we are. But anyways, I've actually found a lot of stories about my family on Ancestry, which things that I didn't know about my family. A lot of things wasn't told to us with our family because of colonizing and everything. So they didn't talk about that stuff with us. But me wanting to know more, I did find out I'm indigenous to this land.
Okay.
Native all day, boo. And what made me really go into it, I've been going through a lot of racism out here where I'm at, and it made me like question my identity, which was horrible. Even though I know what I am, but I did start the process to change my status because I should not ever been labeled as Black or African American or nothing. But I'm going to change all that and make sure I claim what's mine. I want what's mine, and I'm going to take it.
Right, for sure.
And as far as the conversation up here about us, I would like people to stop being so worried about us. Don't worry about what we got in our DNA. We don't worry about what y'all got in y'all DNA, where y'all from. You know what I'm saying? Just worry about you. Don't worry about us. I'm tired of people telling me, I didn't cut people off as friends. You gonna tell me I'm from what? Do you know me? So I cut it. You can't never be my friend. You can never tell me I'm from Africa. Because I've never been there. I don't even know what it looks like.
So where are your
Okay? So don't
ancestors
play with
from?
me. Mine from here. We're from this land right here. We from
So
here, Louisiana. And then Germany. That's the furthest I've been. My family. Well, no, I've never been there, but my 11 great grandparents, they was out there. We was colonized. My grandma had 16. You know, she was taken advantage of course, and had 28 kids, and it continued on down the line. And that's just what it is. And now I'm about to claim what's ours.
A lot of these folks don't do genealogy, man. They go off these conversations
Exactly.
and emotions and feelings. And I
Oh,
tell
and
people,
also,
just do
can I
your
share this
genealogy.
also to our people? Listen, y'all have to know this. Listen, the people that came from another country that got all this housing and stuff, just I'm not that mad at them, but I'm mad because they actually admitting now that they was told to stay away from us, that we're criminals, we're drug addicts, and all this other stuff. In order for them to get free housing and all these benefits they've been getting, so they had to treat us like crap, you know. And even our supposed to be African brothers and sisters, they frown on us too. Now I have some good ones that I'm cool with, but I'm saying there's some that frown on us, look at us like we crap, you know. And the thing is, don't do that to me. I got love for you too. I got love for all y'all, but don't come at me all twisted because I'm tired. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And fight for mine. And I don't want to fight physically, but I mean, whatever's happening, whatever. But I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I just want to be left alone. That's all I want to do. Why people can't just leave us alone? Why we are at the top of this discussion? You know?
For sure. Appreciate you for dropping them gems on us. Man, how do has Indigenous gotta spoke at all?
Nah, I was listening to y'all. I was trying to wait till I got home, but what I want to say is, oh God, why isn't logic ever used in these conversations when we talk about, like, when you say why, sis, when you say why can't they just leave us alone? They can't leave us alone because we the people, we the blueprint, we are the originators of this land, the original people of the Americas, the Amaru, from the Totoshi. Every corner of this world was melanated. So the question is, why do y'all, some Africans keep saying, well, most Africans keep saying that we came from them? Like, come on, even if you don't know nothing logically, you don't get strong from weak.
That's what we're literally taught that in school.
Huh?
In the UK, we're literally taught about the transatlantic slave trade and how you lot were brought over from Africa on boats to the Caribbeans and Americas.
Well,
we're literally taught about this stuff. So when you guys are saying you lot are not African, your ancestors are not African, you lot are
Stop interrupting the woman and let her talk.
Thank you, bro. All I'm
this
saying
one
is,
sounds like a chamber of everyone that has the same opinions. Like, come on now, man.
Echo chamber. Like, they ain't been a echo chamber this whole time. Yeah, let her finish. Let her finish.
I don't think we have the same opinion because, see, what I learned, and I don't speak ignorantly, is that when you talk about a transatlantic slave trade, usually people are meaning that that's Africa to the Americas. The only that I think that coincides with are so-called Africans, because we were here. And they say, well, you know, we have mixtures of everybody. No, we don't. My people, that's why the color, we can create everything, but mostly we're copper color. My people didn't, but they'll tell you, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, they ain't believe in mixing nothing. We stay with our men, period, point blank. When you see the changes, that's when you see the issues. The ones that were Brits, which were us, turned into British. The ones that they say everyone originated. But what they mean and what it says, if you read between the lines, mankind originated from Africa. And that's kind of like a man. We ain't kind of like nothing. We that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at the wording. And then they say human beings. And what is a human being? That is a Homo sapien that evolved into a modern human. We are not those people. We are carbonated ether beings. You have a human being and you have a ether being. Now can we like move off of that?
But you're stating this
No,
like this is some
because we've been
facts.
dumbed down, pineal gland calcified, all type of things like that. But why are they in our business? Because we them people. That's why. That's why.
And Ty, I'm just so confused. Like, what do you get out
I
of
am
being
confused.
African?
You know, I've
Like, what do you
confused
get?
me this whole life. I'll be so real. Like, what did
No,
they
I'm
teach? Not to
asking
be
you.
rude, but like, where did
I'm
you not
asking
find
you,
this
what do you
information?
get out of this?
We told you
Like
already.
what? Like
we told you already.
What
No,
scholars
you not.
actually taught you about this stuff? Like,
He-
what historians actually taught you about this stuff? Where's the
But what is your elders teaching you?
What is my elders teaching me? That I am a
Yes.
Jamaican.
What are your
that,
family oral stories? They told
that
you
I am
that
a
you're from
Jamaican
Africa.
that was taken out of Ghana, literally.
Okay, so that's your story. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. Be like, nah, that ain't real.
But your
So
story
don't do
literally
that to
denies
us.
history. Do you not
You
understand?
don't know my
Whose history?
story.
Whose history?
World
Whose
history.
God.
World history.
Whose world? Whose world history? Who?
The human world.
What?
So we gotta listen. We gotta hold on 1 second. Time out. I'm speaking. I was about to say world history these world don't know our families. We know our families. You're not going to tell me about my grandma and we don't share the same grandma, sir.
Well, your grandma.
And I know where they're from. I know where they're from.
We can go back 14.
Yeah, we can go.
16
You don't want to do this for me. Yeah, we don't.
Hold on, let's talk about logic. Y'all.
1 second. I'm not done speaking. I haven't done.
Oh,
I'm not
sorry,
done speaking.
David. I want to say something after you, David.
I'm not done. Yeah, but
Darvid, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Apologize. Sorry.
It's fine. But yeah, like I can go back real far. I said this shit earlier. We know how to trace our family. We know the history of the United States. We're from here. I don't know why foreigners think they can tell us about the United States, especially if y'all never stepped foot here.
Well, I've been to America about five times. But,
five times, but you're not from here. How long?
I know facts.
Exactly. We're from here. We're telling you the history here.
Oh, wait, let me say this.
No.
Anyone?
No, you've been no. You're not going to tell us about our history.
It's a question.
Point blank period. You're not from here, sir. You're not from here. You're not going to tell us our history. You're not from here. Let me remind you again. You're not from here.
That's silly though. That's like me saying.
No, it's not silly because you're not from here.
Hold on.
1 second. Can I go? Hold on. Can I go tell? Can I go to North Nigeria right now and tell the Yoruba about their history?
Yes, you can, bro.
No, I can't. No, I can't because I'm not Yoruba.
Bro, you can.
I'm not Yoruba. I'm not Yoruba.
Bro, you don't have to be.
I don't communicate with Yoruba every day to their fucking history more than they do.
No, but bro,
that doesn't even make no sense.
Books.
So are you telling me a European knows more about the Yoruba than the Yoruba know about their own people?
Bro, if a European has studied the whole context behind what Yoruba is, if a European has studied that, then they can know more than.
No, how do you learn about a tribe's history? Huh?
Bro, through texts, through books,
through text and books,
through oral tradition.
So what is the majority of tribal history passed down in Africa?
What is the majority tribal history?
How is it passed down historically in Africa?
Through oral tradition.
Oh, through oral tradition.
Artwork.
So how would you find out? Hold on 1 second. Once time out. So if it's through oral history, where do you get the oral history from?
Bro, it's not just oral history though.
Yes, it is. It's mostly oral history.
There's archaeological. I can't even talk.
Archaeological what?
Evidence behind all of this.
Yeah, there's archaeological evidence about what we're talking about too.
No, bro, I guarantee you, not one of you can show me any.
Yes, I can.
Okay, can I get the screen real quick? I'm finna go out and get something for y'all.
Go ahead.
I can show
that all the time on our panels.
Hey, how much money per source? I'll show you about 5 of them.
Yeah, I got pictures.
Bro, I got $10 for you. $10.
All right, next. You can
show me your bloodline being in America through, let's say, what's something that we can verify?
Wait, what's up?
Through textual history, through
shit.
Okay.
Bet.
All right.
Archaeological history,
Now
your
you made
bloodline.
You made it even easier. Hold on,
You
y'all.
said through texture. You got it. You go ahead, Jay Bird. You got it. I was about to say the Powhatan been around for a long ass time. So is the Piscataway.
You look at
We're
Black
ancient
Americans
people.
and be like, oh man, look at the Black Americans on
So you
TV.
gonna give me the $10 or what?
Hold on a
Hold
second. You know what I'm saying? This is how we.
Who the hell? Who's talking right now?
Then a lot of them, when they come to
I'm not
America,
sure.
and then boom, they're like, oh man, my
Who's
brother.
talking?
Bro,
Telling me, oh nah, bro, I'm not your brother. We're not from the same place.
Yeah, we not. Where are you from? Where were you from? Now the intention's direct. Yeah, where are you from?
Oh my bad. I was talking to somebody next to me, but yeah. Hi guys. So the thing is, I just wanted to like contribute to what Ty the Clan was saying. So about the school thing, right? So in Africa. Thank you. Sorry guys. So in
Man, this man
Africa,
has a
right?
goddamn drive-through right now.
No, yeah. It's done. My bad.
Yeah.
So
Hurry
like
up
in
and order your
Africa, right?
McDonald's.
So in Africa, right? Most of us grew up in. So in school, they would teach us like the history, right? In the history, they'll show us things like we were slaves and stuff like that. Slaves were sold, and then you guys, went out as slaves and stuff like that. That's like pretty much every African kid. I don't know about other African countries, but the African like countries that I grew up in schools, history, like that's what they teach. So every kid, that's what they know as they grow up, right? So it's like you have that anger in you, knowing that my people were taken from me. That's what you believe.
I don't have that angle, sir, because that's not my family.
No, I'm saying like us, the Africans that grew up in Africa, right? That's what I'm saying. That's how you grow up. So now, when you come to America, right, and then you meet like an American, in your mind you thinking like, oh, this is my brother and sister, right? And then you tell them like, oh, yo, we from the same place, and then they say like, oh, no, we're not from the same place. So it becomes like because we know. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying though.
I understand what you're saying. You want us to lie to you? Hold on, you want us to lie to you?
What I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you want us to lie to you.
Nah, I get what you're saying. Like I'm not like against what you're saying, right? But I'm just trying to like have you understand what I'm saying.
I hear that.
Hold up. Check this, bro. We get what you're saying, right? But I think this is the problem that a lot of people, like a lot of y'all, don't get neither. Is that the conversation of who Black Americans are is a very multi-ethnic conversation. It's not just, oh, every last person has African ancestors that came across a ship whatsoever. There's a lot of historical moving parts to this category on everybody.
I'm trying to get my $10.
And it don't work. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do have indigenous ancestry. We can prove our indigenous ancestry probably a lot easier than most other people can prove their genealogy. So it's not really difficult for us or hard for us. We're not slow. We live in a nation that has, I would say, by far a better education system probably the entire continent of Africa. So it's not like we're dumb. It's not like we don't know what genealogy is. We wasn't raised in our culture. We know these things about our ancestors. So when people tell us who we are, it add up because, like
you kind of choppy, Keo.
You can tell.
I thought it was good.
You choppy right now, Keo.
Yeah, you gotta repeat everything you said. I can't lie.
Yeah, you're in the matrix, bro.
I want my $10.
I get what you're saying, right?
Bro, wait,
I
what does
understand
this prove?
And I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, but I'm just saying like, you see everything that you're telling me right now. Me being in Africa, I never knew this. I never had nobody telling me this kind of stuff. You feel me? So
right,
I never had nobody telling me this type of stuff. So now when I come in America and then see somebody telling me this type of stuff for the first time, it's like, damn, like it kind of comes off like as if you don't like me or something, like you're trying to send me away, that type of thing.
So that's why you meet a lot of Africans trying to like defend, like trying to say, claim you guys and stuff like that, when really maybe they don't really know what's going on, type of thing,
Yeah,
because I see a lot of people. I
The
see a lot
thing
of
is,
people
we're
saying
trying
that,
to
oh,
teach
why
them.
is it, a lot of people be saying, why is it that Africans always, say this about us, always want to, identify us, always want to like do this, say that we're this when we're that. It's because of these type of reasons,
But
pretty
we
much
get
every
that.
African kid.
We're not blind to people being in their feelings. Like it, but it's a
Hey, yo,
fact
Darvin,
over
can I have the floor after her
thing.
Hold on.
or him?
No,
It's
it's my
No.
turn. It's my turn after that
okay,
because
And
y'all
I'm
I'm
go
trying
going
to
at
get
ahead.
my
I was
money.
just
I'm going after Jay Bird too, because this shit too easy.
Yeah,
Wait,
I was just
can I?
telling Boy Cruz or whatever, like we know that. We know it's a feeling. Y'all are in your feelings about that, but you can't be, that has nothing to do with who we are and our ancestry. There's nothing nice about that, especially when we've been reclassified so many times. Things have been trying to be taken away from us. I say trying because they ain't take shit. But like that's a feeling thing. You gotta get out your feelings. Like that's something that we can't control.
For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead,
totally
Jay.
David, thank
understand
you
what
for
you're
having
saying.
me
I
up.
totally
I know we
understand
have
what you're
different
saying.
Hold
like
on,
And
opinions
I'm
go
not
ahead,
on
Jay
saying
it.
no
Bird.
to that. But
Go
I'm
ahead.
just
Yeah,
trying
go
to
ahead.
like
All right.
have you just understand where like most Africans are coming from, that
I mean,
type of thing.
all right, go ahead. Go ahead, Jay Bird.
Okay, wait. The person I'm responding to was Ty the Clan, right? What kind of evidence do you want? Do you want
Yeah,
historical?
I'm
Do
here.
you want linguistic? Do you want genetics? What kind? Do you want
Bro,
genealogical records like
I said
passport?
I said your bloodline. Your bloodline. Show me
Oh,
your
I
bloodline
say
being
that.
in
You didn't say
America
that.
prior
okay.
to the Europeans coming.
Okay, bet, bet,
If it's
bet.
that simple, bro, show me.
All right, bet. I didn't. That's why I was asking you before. Hold on one second.
Man, I was about to say that like I don't even got to go back that far. Honestly, I ain't got to go back that far.
So wait, let me ask you this.
Oh, one second. I got you. I ain't even got to go back that far. I'm about to show you because I've shown this a million times. I've already shown this a million times before, and before, right? Flip camera. Let me turn my background off. Let me go to effects. I'm gonna go to my goddamn tree. FX. Can't turn the camera off. All right, it's not letting me turn the camera off. 1 second. Enhance background. Boom. It's all quite simple. It's quite simple. John Mason. We're gonna go to John Mason. This is my 5th grade grandfather. It's all quite simple. It's quite simple. I accidentally did that. Now,
your 5th grandpa, when was he alive?
In the 1700s.
In the 7th, bro.
No, hold on. 1 second. Go on. 1 second, right? Right here, he's described as being a copper colored complexion. Now, let's go to the 1828 definition of an American. In the American Dictionary, Webster's American.
Or
I got it. A noun, American, pertaining to America. A noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginal or copper color races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America.
Bro, just because.
Yeah. What's his complexion again?
First of all, bro, I asked you to show me prior to the Europeans.
Prior to the European. The Europeans said he was copper colored. They said he's the Aboriginal of America. What does Aboriginal mean? The first inhabitant of the place.
But bro, you said your grandfather was alive in the 1700s.
Yeah, and they said he was the original American in the 1700s.
How could he be the original American in the 1700s?
So look at the definition. Hold on, 1 second. Ty, 1 second. God damn. Yo, or whoever that is.
That was me.
Copper. His complexion is copper. He's copper colored. Right? Now, if we look at the definition of America, if you want to know his tribe, I got you. Right? Since he's a Mason, he goes back to the Piscataway in Maryland. Right? Now, if we go further, how old are the Piscataway? Archaeologists say that the Piscataway are 3,000 to 10,000 years old. This shit too easy. You can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I was about to say this shit too easy. I ain't even got to go back that far.
For me, that don't answer my question.
That does answer your question.
It don't, bro.
I have.
I asked you to show me your bloodline being in America.
Hold on. The court said my grandfather was from America. He's an Aboriginal American. Piscataway, since he's a Mason, I can go to Capital University. They have my family documented. Is it Capital or American? I think it's American. No, it's Capital University. Capital University documented my ancestors.
Yo, David, good to see you again. I just have a question.
Darvid. That is only one. I got plenty of grandparents. I've shown this shit before.
Like I said, it don't answer my question, bro.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I just proved that my grandfather was from Maryland, and he was Piscataway. He is Piscataway. The Piscataway are 3,000 to 10,000 years old. That proves everything.
So because
you don't like what I answered, you don't like the answer, Ty. You don't like the answer. That's all.
I don't like the answer.
Yes, you don't. Yeah, pay up to $10. Give it to Jay.
You didn't answer my question, though.
I did answer your question.
You want me to say my question again?
Ty,
I proved it.
Ty, can I just add something into the mix real quick, Ty? You said that because his ancestor was in the 1700s, it's not credible. You do realize that in the 1700s, there are still genealogical records that show tribal lineages, like not necessarily pertaining to, it won't say the name of the tribe on the genealogical record, but it shows who they're related to. And you can literally pull up, I can give you an example in a second after I pull up, I'm gonna pull up two different ones for you. So this, you can't even read it. You can't even read it, but I don't know if you can see that, but that says Brant, something Grant, right? Hold on, let me go to the original picture so I can actually read that name for you, because I'm not familiar with this name.
Yeah, he obviously is not listening to learn.
Darvid, can I ask?
I'm most definitely listening.
Can I ask?
You're not.
For this logic to apply,
you're not because I answered your question, Ty. I answered your question. I answered your question,
bro, and you know it.
I answered your question. You just don't like how I answered it.
No, you didn't answer my question.
Yes, I did. I showed you proof. How are the Piscataway not 3,000 to 10,000 years old? How's that not prior to European contact?
Bro, you're saying that your grandfather was a Piscataway based on his skin color.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. All right, I'm about to pull up the Capital University source. How about that? I'm literally. Hold on. I'm literally related to the guy that resurrected the Piscataway. I'm literally related to Turkey Taya. We're both proctors from St. Mary's County in Charles County, Maryland. Right.
It's not right because
everything that I'm saying. You ain't got shit to say now.
I got
right.
Well, I have a lot to say, but you disagree with it.
Ty.
You don't have to disagree. It's my family.
What information? Because I respectfully, what information can someone give you without doxing themselves? Go.
Damn, bro, like kill
Ty. Bro, I'm from the UK, bro. How can
I got a question? No, fuck, hey, no. Ty said he Jamaican, right? And he said ancestor came from Ghana. What documentation do you have proving that your Jamaican ancestors came from Ghana?
Bro, do you know where the word Jamaica comes from?
It comes from Jamaica. It's an Arawak word. It's an Arawak word. Stop it.
No, bro. The word is Ghanaian. It means
no, it's not. No, it's not.
You making shit up, bro. Ghana wasn't even a country until 1957, my nigga. So why is you lying, bro?
That's a lie.
My grandmama older than Ghana.
Jamaica is not.
Okay, what's the Ghanaian word?
Bro, the Arawaks were wiped out.
Jamaica is not a.
That's how I know the bad. Jamaican, bro.
Everyone in Jamaica right now.
African word. It comes from the actual tribe, the Yamaka tribe. That's why Jamaica, New York, is named after the Jamaican tribe.
Is right here, literally. Jamaica originates from the Arawak speaking people word Jamaica, meaning land of wood and water, or land of springs. It's right here.
Yep, that man is not Jamaican, bro. I can tell he
He's
sound like
not.
one of them Ghanaians. He's Ghanaian or some shit from fucking from UK.
He's Ghanaian from Europe. You could tell he's either that or he's Baltimoreese. I don't know what language he's speaking. The T
This
is
man is not no
y'all gotta
Jamaican, bro.
stop
Them
trying
Jamaicans
to
in UK,
Africa.
they
That is not.
man.
I need y'all to stop
Trying
saying.
to Africa wash America is
We do not sound like them people in the UK. Stop that, please.
Seriously, y'all gotta stop trying to Africa wash America, especially when you're not from America. Like everything, like all these, oh, it comes from Africa. No, it really don't. That's some Pan-African Afro.
But yeah, Piscataway Indian surnames. Like, hold on. So let me go to Instagram because I'm gonna pull up the Capital University source. Like, come on, bro. We've been doing this forever and ever and ever. Do I have that saved? Damn, hold on. Let me go save that. I'll be back, y'all.
Hey, what do you need to see? You need to see like people's pull up some treaties or some land surveys from a reservation and show you that's their ancestor. I mean,
I didn't know that he was part. So at first, I thought like
he was.
No, okay, yeah. So that's what. No. So that's what. Well, so was your grandma? Was she also from the same tribe?
Yeah, she was also from the same tribe. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yesterday, like we were kind of going back and forth there, and I think there was just some confusion that, like I mean, although it might have came up, I don't think you like ever told me specifically that both were from a tribe. And
Yes.
I mean,
The
since then
Masons
I've
and the-
learned actually that these tribes can have like features that look very similar to Africans. So I think
for
he's
sure.
probably just a little confused in that regard.
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm back. I'm back with it. Hold on one
But
second.
if both of your grandparents are from tribes, then all the power to you, brother. I did not know that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've shown my genealogy countless times on
The-
here on the
so
internet. But
the only other question though,
go ahead.
Jaybird, I have
tribe is tribe, that's when it starts to get easy because then you can look at the relatives and the history around those people and that person specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can look at treaties and records and stuff like that.
Ain't no cap right here. Ain't no cap in the raps over here. I said my great grandfather was his last name Mason. Piscataway surnames, right? This is from Capital University. Piscataway surnames are Proctor, Savoy, Harley, Swan, Thompson, Butler, Lincoln's, Gray, Mason, and Queen. And they're all
Hey,
from the
let's go
same
then.
goddamn.
That's all the power to
One
you.
second. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, 1 second. But yeah, we see the Masons right here. I'm also related to the Butlers. You can look at my tree. Also related to the goddamn Savoys and the Proctors in Southern Maryland. You see the Masons right here, right? We got the Butlers right here. And the Butlers go back to the goddamn Proctors right here. Like, come on, dude. This is on my dad's side and on my mom's side, right? We go back to the Savoys, and guess what? My 7th great grandfather's name is Mingo. What does Mingo mean? Mingo is a Lenni Lenape word for stealthy or treacherous. Come on, bro.
What did I say? Spanish?
Ty, I just have a question for you.
Yeah, go on.
Because I was kind of like where you were at, but so like when you think of an indigenous American, like and it's fine, I'm not going to judge you on anything you say. Just what do you picture?
An indigenous American.
Yeah, like a Native American.
But that's the thing. A Native American. Wouldn't you say a Native American and an indigenous? And I can't even talk. Indigenous and American are two different things. Because wouldn't you say white Americans and black Americans are now indigenous to that land?
Well, no, not all of them.
But why though? They've been there for more than 400 years. How long does it take?
So that's the thing. Their like lineage is not traced to the land.
But how long does someone have to occupy that land for it to be theirs?
So okay, yeah, that's a good question. I think that is where the confusion is. There's different markers and points that people are using for how far does it go back until you're considered indigenous, and that I think is where the confusion's coming in. So like I'd ask you then, how far do you think they would have to go back to be considered indigenous?
Prior to any Europeans coming onto the land.
Okay.
And then even then, that still technically don't really make them indigenous, because I most certainly believe that Africans were able to sail. And Africans most definitely did go to America prior to Columbus discovering it.
Okay, so you said prior to like the European arrival, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there are people that like even like the people before the Europeans, even though like a lot of them looked like what people would like think of when they think of like modern Mexicans, there are tribes that had features like such as the ones like Darvid has. Like there is still a fair amount of diversity there.
Darvid, I
won't disagree with that. No, definitely, there's 100%.
What you say, Haley? What'd you say?
I don't know how to share my screen on here, and yeah, I never even really tried. But I DM'd you on Instagram on one of my ancestors. Can you share that for me? He's okay with sharing it, so I don't want people to just think I'm sharing all my lineage. I mean,
let me see.
Yeah,
it's two pictures. Is it two pictures? Or is Jay Bird? You're on mute. You're mute, Jay. You're on mute, Jay Bird.
No,
yeah,
it's free.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I'll pull it up then. What's up, Venetian?
Wait.
Oh, you all right? Go ahead, Jay Bird. I got you after Haley.
Okay, so sorry, I just ran back and forth real quick, but this is Samuel Cobb. His name is also known as Choctaw Sam or Cobb. Birth about 1786. Sorry, this is a distant relative of one of my ancestors who was born in 1842, I believe. Here, I'm gonna just skip all the, because I have to go screenshot by screenshot. I can't like pull up a picture of my family tree, or at least have like all the words big enough.
What's up, Venus?
But I'm gonna show
you say
a land patent.
We say he was born in 18 what?
17. What did it say? 1786.
No, I thought it said 1864.
No, it says born about 1786. Maybe that was the death in 1864.
Okay.
Can you not see the photo while I'm looking for the other one, or no?
No, it's just you. It's just blank.
Here. Look, you guys can see birth about 1786, death 1864. All right, I'm just gonna skip down to one of my family's land patents. Whew, I'm sorry, I did a lot of running just now. Okay.
So what? That ancestor wasn't a slave, no?
So,
I mean, he was a chief.
Why is Venus singing Trap Queen? Hello.
I mean, there's so many ways to prove indigenous ancestry. Like most people who say they're indigenous can prove it without a doubt. It's not really difficult, and it's so not like if you put it in context, right? Most of us with indigenous ancestry is a lot closer in relation than any other. If there is an African in your ancestry, you're gonna find the Indian way before you find an African. Most of the time. I mean, it's kind of rudimentary to have these conversations because both, like, it's so common in our community. Like, people were saying they was Indian way before people were saying they was African. You know what I mean? Like, if you a Black American, you know that for a fact. Like,
Okay,
this is crazy conversation. Like, I get it how Africans might not understand these concepts.
Holding on to their money because their anticipation,
really
all this price hikes.
Khalito,
this is one of my ancestors' land patents.
We ain't
I
seen
wasn't
nobody
finished.
coming
though.
in
I
the
wasn't
couple
finished.
days.
Hold on. He was still speaking. What's
slow.
up, David? Hold on. Once he was Jay Bird speaking. Hold on. Let me meet you real quick.
So this is one of my ancestors. His name is Henderson Cobb. Also William Henderson Cobb.
Whoa! Don't show the land pat. No.
What's good, y'all?
Dude, no, don't show.
Why can't I show the land patent?
No. That's a little too set. No.
Y'all gotta chill out with showing y'all records on these social medias like that. Like, especially if you got Indian ancestry, it's not a joke. These niggas be stealing.
Some
Some
ancestors are okay with that, y'all.
I mean, I wanted my money. That's all I'm saying is I wanted my money.
Bro, you don't see it
though, man. Darvid, is my stuff okay to share? I mean, like, I connect with my ancestors. I only show the ones that allow me to. Some of them don't like that, but my ancestors, they okay. Shit, can't nobody, fuck up what I got going on.
If it's a census, not for $10. No, I was about to say.
Oh no, I'm not doing it.
You can have my $10. Jay. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing that for the money. I'm doing it for my.
No, I was talking to Jay Bird. Yeah, you ain't don't show no land pass to nobody.
I can show something else then.
Hey, Jay Bird, you know what's even crazy? The picture
when
you
you
just
done,
showed,
because I'm trying to prove the point to Ty. I'm trying to prove the point to Ty because I have the picture and also where he was born on Indian territory. So I want you to, show that whenever you can.
Yeah, go ahead. Let her go because it's gonna take me a minute.
Well,
I got you.
Yeah, your grandfather could have been born on Indian territory.
Be quiet. I haven't shown nothing yet. Be quiet.
I need to understand something. Something. Was he asking? What was he saying about Jamaica being Ghanaian? Because was that?
He was saying Jamaica's a Ghanaian word.
No, I can't lie. I got that one wrong. I got that wrong. I'll admit.
Darvid, I'm gonna need you to clean your screen, brother.
My guy, how do you get that wrong? That's common knowledge.
Clean what screen?
Your back screen.
He's not Jamaican.
Okay.
Bro, why the hell would I lie about being Jamaican? What the hell? Bro,
it's on Haley, y'all. It's on Haley.
Listen, so this is my second great grandfather. As you can see, this is how he looks. Okay. This is not an African man. Okay. And if you could flip to the time period for me. So, well, yeah, you could stay here. That's fine. So it says his birth was in 1853, Cherokee Nation, Indian Territory. So basically what happened to him is they kicked him off of the Indian Territory because of his color. We have documentation of this within my family lineage. Also, his dad as well and his mother were both born on the same Indian Territory. Some of his siblings also were able to stay on the reservation or the Cherokee reservation because of their skin tone. So when you depict American Indians, I don't know what you think an American Indian looks like, but that is what they look like. Majority of them. I think you depict like.
When I think of an American Indian,
the only thing I would disagree with is I don't think the majority look like that. There are some that look like that. I just don't. I would just disagree about the majority.
No, it's majority. Like I said,
even on top of that,
majority of them look like that. So you can't get light from dark, right? So like everything has to be dark first. Whether you want to talk, that coexists with any and everything. So majority of them looked like that, most of all, okay? If anything, they were probably my color, the red tones. You have different tones, but I'm talking Ty, what he's thinking of are the so-called Native Americans. That's not who we are. And we're not claiming to be Native American either. We are American Indians. We are very different people, okay? We have proof. We are always proving who we are on panels. I don't know if you just tap in this one panel or what, but we're always proving who we are. But it's kind of
never
getting,
been alive.
it's dragging. Okay,
that
then
did
yeah.
lead to another question I had.
Can wait? No more other question. I want to still get my $10. I'm gonna show a different
Bro,
source.
you ain't proved it to me yet. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Because they told me I can't show you the other source, so I'm pulling up another
But
one.
my boy,
All right?
my question
My
was
man's on that
clear.
money.
Show me some ancestry prior to Europeans coming, and you're just showing me the 16 and the 1700s.
That's
Hold on, one sec. That's disingenuous as fuck. That's
No, not you,
disingenuous as fuck.
David. Not you, David.
I was about to say.
Even so, I don't. Me personally,
That's disingenuous as fuck still.
Ty, how was someone gonna show documentation before the documenters came? And they erase a lot of stuff like codices. I can show you a codice that shows that black people were there, but when people are from a continent and they don't have expectation of an outsider coming in and telling them they're no longer from that continent, then they're not going to be sitting there documenting, oh, this was my great-great-grandfather, I'm going to write it down. That's oral tradition at that point, right? So what I'm showing you is what we have, which is documentation that shows who we are. Like, I don't understand what you mean. There is no documentation before colonizations came that show what your census is.
Why?
Like,
because you don't want there, bro.
Because what do you mean?
There's artifacts.
Native Americans don't have that either. What are you talking about?
Wait, say that
There's
again?
no written paperwork. There's no written paperwork that literally shows a Native American was here that's Asian looking before conquistadors came.
But bro, they can prove it through archaeology, bro.
I can prove it through archaeology too. So that's why I asked you earlier. Do you want me to show archaeological evidence?
Simple.
Do you want me to show DNA? Do you want me to show DNA, archaeology? Do you want me to show art? Do you want me to show linguistics? I asked you that earlier. You said show me some of my records that are in my specific bloodline, my specific family that can prove that I'm indigenous. That's what you said.
No, yeah, facts.
So don't try to change it.
He's an agent, y'all. He's an agent.
Yeah, I was about to say, you gotta show something. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, you gotta show something now, Ty.
I got something for him because to be honest,
I'm gonna just mute up then.
You gotta start showing some sources of your family now, Ty.
So check this, right? I had these arguments with people. Like I had these arguments with people for like
somebody blocked him. Georgia got him going.
And I'll be saying the same thing. I've been saying the same thing for like 4 or 5 years, right? Because people want you to show all this information with no benefit to you, right? And most of the time I say, okay, well, you put up $500 or $1,000, right? That I can prove that I'm Indian without a doubt, which means I'll show you my enrollment information, current tribal enrollment information, genealogical tree. I can show you tons of information that supports that I'm indigenous, right? But they don't ever want to take that bet. They don't want to put 500 or 1,000 up against their beliefs or their rhetoric. So that's what I'm saying. Don't show these people your records for those. Like if they talking about 1,000 and they really want to, they don't believe you, then put the money up. Put your money where your mouth is. I've been trying to get people to do that shit on Twitter for like 5 years. Ain't nobody took it.
I agree with the pain. Some ancestors don't care. Like it's honoring to do that we're able to finally give them their name and classify them for who they are. But I agree to the money thing too. But sometimes some ancestors, they like that. Like they like that attention. Like if you're a spiritual person, you get what I'm saying. But they like that attention. They need to know. They need to know. Period.
Listen, I'm interrupt nobody, but y'all stop showing them anything. We don't have to prove nothing to nobody. They know. It's a whole group. It's a whole group.
It's okay.
Listen, it's a whole enterprise of 80 countries operating with these Nigerians on this scamming diabolical crap. Everybody know who we are.
That's my question. Y'all keep saying that. What are they scamming?
They need to prove who they are. They need to prove that we are what they say. We don't have to prove nothing to nobody.
But we can if we want to, is what I'm saying. Like y'all don't have
why?
To why? because we can.
Use
That's
that
honoring.
energy to teach our kids and the
But
youth.
we
The whole
are.
world know we are the
Who says
blueprint.
we're not doing that? You can do all of
What?
it at the
Listen,
same
y'all.
time.
What has
You
been
can do all of that
proven
at the
is
same
what
time.
has been proven is that it's a lot of agents. All
We ain't stealing shit from
kin
me.
folk are not kin folk, and most of them are these young girls talking about, you know, you're African on their side for a little change. I don't know what it's for, but selling their soul. We, as a blueprint, don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Stop it, because what we see
All
the
of this
next
stuff
week.
is already
Why you
public,
keep talking
though.
over me?
No,
Why?
you talked over me first. You
The
talked over
next
me
week
first
is
when
them
I was
claiming
talking.
the stuff that we
You
taught.
talked over me first when I was
See,
still
now
talking.
she got the characteristics of an agent. You understand what I'm saying?
No, you weird. You a
Because I'm
weirdo.
not telling.
I
No,
can
you're
show
weird.
Nah, don't come on
Youngin,
here.
Can we just hear
okay?
Haley out for a
So like
second?
I
You
was saying,
interrupted me.
brothers
You
and
interrupted me when I was
Yeet.
talking. Like
real
I said,
sisters who are
if you
real
Come
want
on,
to
men
be
y'all.
so
Somebody
rude,
burn
From stage.
mute.
Do y'all
weird.
have
we them
Verse some
people,
sweetgrass.
and
y'all
we
have
don't
Hold on
have
one
to
second,
prove
y'all.
nothing to no
Verse,
immigrants.
somebody get the sweetgrass for the chat, please. God damn. We need some
Do y'all have
sweetgrass.
ancestral tribal beef? Like, what's y'all tribes? Y'all might have ancestral.
It might be because my ancestors don't play, and you interrupted me first, so I don't know what she's talking about. I don't play that shit over here. Secondly, if you want to show your ancestry, if you feel like it's honoring your ancestors, I'm not saying show all your documents or whatever the case is, but if you have a proof of a tribe and that ancestor is okay with it and you're connected spiritually through that ancestor, do it. If not, don't.
All
Get
our
on the
ancestors want us to do is
they
wake the
can and
hell
can't
up.
show. You
And
ain't
don't
gonna
let
tell
them
me shit
come in
about
here
my
questioning
ancestors.
us,
Like I
feeling like we
said,
gotta prove nothing. That's the respect
I'm
to
not
the ancestors.
saying that. No, you can't tell me what's disrespectful to my ancestors.
I don't care
have
about
a
your
business.
ancestors. I ain't
Okay,
saying
Where
your
y'all?
shut the
Where are
fuck
both
up.
of y'all
So
from?
shut
You
the fuck up
irrelevant,
then.
and I ain't
So
finna
shut
argue
the
and go
fuck
back
up.
and
So
forth.
stop
I'm
fucking talking to me then. So
why
stop
you
fucking
crashing
talking to
out?
me.
And why you
no
Stop
being
fighting in
interrupting me.
Indian
disrespectful? And why you
territory.
gotta
It's you
resort to
interrupting
cursing?
me. Don't fucking play. Don't play with me. You
Woosah,
interrupting me.
woosah,
Well, it
woosah,
was
What
worth
you talking
woosah,
about?
the
What you
interruption.
talking
I'm
about?
saying
woosah,
quit
woosah,
proving
woosah.
anything.
Yo.
Because regardless,
Relax, y'all.
Anyways,
Relax, please.
like
I
I
need
was saying, she
relax,
interrupted
I ain't
me.
telling you nothing wrong.
Like I was saying, she interrupted me from the beginning and then gonna say, I don't mean to interrupt nobody, but you did. So secondly, I'm not telling people to show anything. I'm saying if you feel as though that's something you want to do and you're a teacher, you can do it. Don't be listening to people telling you not to do this, not to do
I muted
that.
everybody.
Do what you feel is right. Garbage. You do it all the time.
TikTok ain't the platform to show no personal information.
Well,
but that's not personal. That's you can get on Ancestry and look at people's stuff by knowing their last name. So now when you talking about land patents and acres and things like that, I understand that, but that is not what I'm talking about. But you so busy trying to interrupt
Like
me.
I said,
me.
these people diabolical, and they showing you what lengths they'll go to.
They ain't hurting shit on my side. That's the energy. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
They
can
ain't
we
nothing.
just agree to disagree? Like,
they ain't stopping nothing.
this message is too late for me because I really don't give a fuck. I show that to help people out that need the information. If people need help with their genealogy, I made myself the example. That's why I did it, and things like that. People are still learning, forever growing. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I just said when Jay Bird was doing what he was doing, that's when I was like,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
agree with that as well. So I don't know what.
Okay, well, we agree on something, but we ain't got to argue, sis. We ain't got to argue. I just want people to be careful.
For sure. I appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Oh, but can I show something if no one is in line? That's why I went out.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
for sure.
The first thing that I wanted to show was this. Where am I at? Oh, right there. Hold on, give me a sec, because I can't maneuver that well, but I'm gonna try. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So this is the first thing. Hold on, let me find this. Okay. All right. So what is so illogical to me is they always say African as a monolith when it's conducive to their, whatever they trying to, they motive, right? But then it goes into, well, I'm not there. That's not my tribe. When it's something that they find less flattering. You understand what I'm saying? Like, then they'll be specific as far as tribes. But that's a new world. That I have a hard time understanding when they say African because these are people in these 50 whatever 54 countries named after a place that was given to them. It's a place. So what actually makes an African? Being over there or the blood? I don't understand because y'all don't get along in those countries. You really can't even navigate to that country. But yet y'all say African as a whole, and y'all don't even speak to each other as a whole in these different countries. And so my question is, what makes an African? Because according to my research, this is the youngest continent now. Literally, the age as well as coming up out of the water. So where is the royalty that they speak about? Was this the real? I'm sorry. Was this the real Carthage, Africa, or was that somewhere else? Because the motherland would certainly be able to sustain a people to live. You know what I'm saying? It's about living. The plants weren't even sustaining over there. They didn't even have plants that could live. They didn't. You don't even have the water. So how does this Africa go back into these centuries when the water problem ain't even straight to this day? That don't sound like a motherland of a great people of royalty to me. So that makes no sense. And then the other thing is, and I'm gonna land quickly, is logic shows us we aren't the same people because we don't move the same. We do not have the same culture. We do not have the same culture. Our culture goes back as far as rolling dice. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, barbecue. Our people were doing that when they were so-called enslaved. I call it prisoners of war, but they were working sharecroppers when they
where'd she go?
Calling me is pissing me off. When they took their breaks, they was shooting dice.
Yep.
Paying homage, pour out a little liquor, like Tupac say. They did all that. The libations to the ancestors. It's things that we do and don't even know that it comes from our genetic. It's genetic that just happens. You know what I'm saying? Genetically, this is the connection. This is the spirit of our people, the soul of our people. We are the soul people. But the other thing, and I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Sorry, hold on.
That's cool.
Let me see. Okay. So right here, it says Liberian. They talk about the Liberians, describe a people of American descent who are American origin. I'm sorry, Liberian descent who are American origin. This is what they don't tell us. That the first people that settled were from New York. Some of them went voluntarily, but like I said, a lot of people don't even understand. They call this a prison continent. That's why you have the have and so many impoverished, the have nots. And this is why the government, I call them the prison guards. They will not let them get anywhere better or rise from their condition because everyone makes money. They're corporations. These countries they brag about, they're corporations, but yet they tell you should come over here. Have you ever been there? You should come here, but they ain't even there. They're fleeing their birthright. That's the second thing. And then thirdly, you talk about the origin of all mankind. We've never been mankind. That means you something like a man, right? I don't call us human. That's a being. That's a Homo sapien that evolved. We didn't evolve. We are from every mineral of the earth is in us. Different people. I ain't gonna stay on that one. One more thing, and then I'll shut it down. The other thing, sis said, positive. I ain't gonna show that one. Let's see. Linguistic. This is just a little thing. Now they argue even over watermelon being native to Africa. Not so. Like I said, a lot of things couldn't even plant over there because the real kemet is in the Americas. That's why the only people that can cultivate our soil were the original people that knew how to make kemet, the black soil. They didn't know how to do that. They had to be taught that by who? Our people. Okay? People talk about Hebrews and this, that, and the other. Moving on to the next one, and then I'm going to land. They talk about Hebrew. Hebrew was a language. The Hebrew hieroglyphs of the Hebrew language is all over the mounds that are over 5,000 years BC. BC, not 500 years, 5,000 years BC. And then this is the other one. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Then I'm gonna. This is talking about. I think this is the one. It's talking about Nigeria, the Rhesus blood. Now they always talk about DNA and the Yorubas. They weren't even they weren't in the sample. This is a new independent people. When you talk about blood type, the most common Rhesus blood type in Nigeria, accounting for 97% of the population. Rhesus blood, y'all know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our blood. That's why you see the centers for the plasma all in our hood, because they want this blood, because it makes this plasma. It makes everything on down to plasma TVs. So anything that's in us, they have been studying. They have been trying to make creams out of, like what's that suntan lotion out of our melanin. No wonder why our people, especially the young ones, come up missing. Like, it's no mistake. Look at what's going on in the world. And you have to remember, you have mankind, you have species, you have ones that aren't even, we walk past them every day. They're a whole different, quote unquote, alien. And we would be arrogant to think that it's not, that it's only the people that they show us. You have the humans, you have the ether, the carbonated, the magical, and then you have the cave dwellers. Point blank, period. We don't have the same blood. We don't have the same genotype. And that's what creates our magic, the genotype. And we do not have the same spirit. And many of us, but not us, but these people that they call like us, they don't even have a soul. That comes from solar, soul people, some people. So if you learn etymology of words, it'll tell you a lot. Read between the lines, because the truth is always in the lie, rather. And I laugh.
Appreciate that.
I wanted to say something to address something that she said.
Go ahead.
Most people are either Rh positive or Rh negative. You know what I mean? So to have Rh positive blood is not necessarily something like negative. It has nothing to do with the Rhesus monkey either. It's not. I don't know why people associate it because the monkey's named Rhesus, but the Rhesus is found in all naturally occurring animals in the world, and it could be a different type of Rhesus pertaining to each individual species of animal. But yeah, Rh negative people are mostly like lighter skinned people with blue eyes, lighter brown hair, and pale skin. That's characteristically what is found. So in order to have Rh, negative, it's either you got, some of that in your ancestry, or you're genetically mutated to produce that kind of, blood type. But I don't think that it's
No.
good to say.
Well, I'm not going to debunk whatever you say, but my research has shown that. Okay, but I just hate narratives getting put out there that don't make sense.
I don't think that it's really productive to say that, because Africans have Rh positive on 97% scale, that they're not the same people as any other people in the world, because most people in the world are Rh positive, regardless of.
Thank y'all for the follow.
That's what like, if you have a blood type O positive, means you're Rh positive and you have an O blood type. That's literally what it means. So like if you're A positive, you're Rh positive. If you're A negative, you're Rh negative. That negative and that positive is what stands for the Rh. That's what it's talking about. I'm done.
Okay, well, let's talk about the DNA and and when I say we, I'm talking about us, Darvin. We don't have animal in our DNA. We don't. We don't grow fur. We don't grow tails. We don't grow tails. We can procreate with plentiful procreation, and the sun is our friend. So the point is, we're not the same.
Rh has nothing to do with monkeys at all, like in the slightest. That's nothing to do with monkeys.
Anyway, the majority of our people don't have that blood.
Yes, they do.
And if so, they said 97%. That's why Nigerian, that what I just showed, the 97% of and you have to understand it's a different type. Every Nigerian is not the same people as well.
That's
You
true.
have
Also,
the Nigerians operating over here, part of that great crime enterprise that are not the same as the impoverished, that they won't even help with all of their money that they flex on over here. You have you have people that are not kinfolk because they skinfolk, same as here.
But what does that have to do with what I just said? I was just saying that
that has to do with the fact that don't let them fool you and make you think that we're connected. It's okay if we're not. You have Melungeon, you have Guinea, you have all type of melanated people, but why do they choose the Americas, the Amaru, to be their cousins and from them? It's a lie. It's a motive and it's a reason.
That's not what I was saying.
The greatest land. No, we're not arguing. I'm just saying. I'm answering the questions of why. The logic of why.
Let's get to 35,000 likes, y'all.
Because they target us for some reason. What's the reason? They want this land. They know who we are, and they wanted to dumb us down purposely to forget. But the more we remember, the more sun that we get, the more right food that we eat for our body, and the more knowledge, the more wisdom, we start to remember. And they don't want us to remember.
But what does that have to do with what I just said? And literally, the most prominent blood type found in the United States of America and the entirety of Americas between Native Americans and Black people is O positive, which is RH positive.
Native Americans don't have what Native Americans? Today's Native Americans, the ones they call Native Americans, or the Siberian migrants? Which one you talking about?
According to the studies, modern contemporary Native Americans and Black Americans, the most DNA have O positive. Most people in the United States or all of the Americas have O positive blood.
That's a freaking lie. No, they don't. Most people do not have O positive. So don't put that in. That's why they don't want us to know the true blood type. They won't give. If you ask them, can I get my blood type? They'll ask you why. They don't want the original people. Original. You have the A, the B, the A, B. You have the original. I don't see these clinics. I don't see these. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The point you're trying to make.
I don't see these.
I used to work at a plasma center, and like they do identify people's blood types, and it was a lot of white people that had O type blood. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of Black Americans, but it was buku white people with that blood type.
Ain't buku, baby.
The Native Americans, they was on the AB side. And they had Black Americans that had B too, you dig?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of white people here in America, or here in Oklahoma, should I say, that were coming and donating that had O type, you know what I'm saying, blood type. So
y'all do know that, right?
One second. One mic on CR. One mic on CR, y'all. One mic on CR.
I'm not speaking
just like people were passing back in the day.
Research. I'm speaking on what I actually seen.
Listen, what do you? I'm probably 3 decades older than you, sir. My people are what you would call mulatto on my
You're not even trying to
side.
Can we let CR talk?
Yeah, can we let CR land?
Mic, so I can finish what I'm saying.
That wild Indians can't have too many in one circle.
We need to have a level of cordialness.
I can't even follow the conversation. There's too many people talking.
Yeah, for real, bro.
One mic on CR.
I'm trying to land my plane.
Yeah, one mic on CR, please. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to express to y'all that even though that is an argument that a lot of our people use, here you go, baby, that the O type being the oldest blood that our people possess over here.
What's up, Sam?
I'm also letting you know that there is a lot of white people, or white T people, my bad for not speaking correctly on stage. There's a lot of white T people with that same blood type, you dig? So we can't just dismiss that, or we can't just use that as the forefront of information to present as an argument when they also have this in their blood too. I'm not trying to debunk you. I'm just giving you a forewarning of the information that's being shared right now.
You can't debunk it, sir,
that this is a fact for them too.
Listen,
I just found out I might be Native American. My mom has AB blood.
People were passing. These people cannot have the O blood unless they actually have the O blood, which means just because they look white tea, they obviously have a dominant blood within them. Like some of my people, they called mulatto, but they have some old blood in them, which makes them, you know what I'm saying, probably mixed from a white tea person or a cave dweller. I don't know. I kind of think some of them are cave dwellers, but you can't be a white tea, what you call a white tea, and have that old blood unless you mixed with an old blood. Dominant Trump's recessive. That's logic.
Time out.
But they got that.
Time out. Well, first of all, my initial point was talking about Rh positive being found mostly in Native Americans and Black Americans. Okay, I use O positive as one of the sources that anyone can do research on, right? But secondly, the argument that was just brought up was talking about O blood type. It never suggested positive or negative. We're talking about the difference of positive versus negative. Thirdly, and this is like my final point, you guys, that when you guys are sitting there talking about, oh, white people can't have O positive blood, the blood dominance is passed from parent to child based on what your parents had and what blood they carried. That's the same way that Europeans, especially in the southern parts of Europe, were mostly dominated by Africans for a long period of time. So of course white people can have O positive blood. It's just it's most people that have Rh negative blood, Rh negative, not specific letters, typically have the phenotype of lighter skin, colored eyes, lighter colored hair. That's a fact. That's a typical, like, you could almost call it a stereotype.
Yo, Jaybird, you mind if I ask some stuff real quick? Same with Darvin.
I just want to ask him something real quick, and I swear I'll land. Jay, ain't we saying the same thing?
We haven't heard from Mom.
I just want to ask you a question, and I was gonna land. I just said, aren't we saying the same thing?
What's up, Tyrone?
Because you keep saying white tea people, but if you have old blood and you from mixing, that's not a white tea person.
White is a phenotype, so it still could be a white person. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a black dad and a white mom, and you come out looking like the white mom, you're still white. You can't go around saying the N-word. Because black is not a race. I mean, it's a phenotype. It's
you are not a white tea. You are not a white tea. Dominant Trump's recessive, sir. So how does that happen? That don't make no sense.
Listen.
It makes no sense.
Then how do you're saying dominant Trump's recessive? Like
it makes no sense,
black fathers
sweetie.
have white passing children all the time.
Because you talk about dominant and recessive.
Yeah, I think I might be slow. I might have to wrap this up
What's
soon.
your name?
That's why I used to say it only takes one drop.
Rashida Jones. Literally a white passing woman with a black father. Rashida Jones. I'm just saying it happens all the time. So just because she's white, she's not.
If Quincy is her daddy,
African American white
then she's not white tea. She is
not black.
She is a melanated
white.
One mic, y'all. One mic.
Because it makes no sense. That's not even logic.
One mic, y'all. One mic. One mic, y'all.
Recessive never can trump dominant, sir.
Black is a classification. It's not.
Jaybird, you mind if I take it real quick before I get out of here?
All right, come on, yeah. I'm about to start. You can go ahead, Maz.
All
I'm
right,
about to
so
start wrapping this up
is kind of just tied. Like again, after learning like just more about your guys' like lineage and stuff, it's like great to learn that you guys are indigenous and like, but the only thing I was wondering is it's kind of what Jaybird brought up. It's just how do you see the other tribes, like those native to like the Olmecs, the native Andeans in South America, in the Mayans? Do you guys see yourselves as like metaphorically as like brothers or cousins or like kin, or do you see them as like completely separate?
Hold on. I can answer it. Some tribes from like in the Southeast United States, they actually do have like descendancy from them tribes. And some, yeah, like you got the Muskogee people, like the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, Yamasee, the Yuchi. They have connection with the Mayans and the Olmecs. And then my tribe, one of my tribes, the Powhatan, they actually have a story of linking up with Mayans because one of the Powhatan chiefs got kidnapped.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, he got kidnapped when the Spanish came to Virginia. And he came back 10 years later with some Mayan.
Cool. Because the only concern I had was that I don't know who it was in here earlier, but they were kind of like trying to separate those two groups, and I kind of just wanted to see to it that like we were kind of united in that one area, that we, even though it's like South and Central and North America, we're all still like indigenous, like brothers and sisters.
You can actually find the word.
Can I answer a little bit?
After I land this, I was about to say, after I land, because he did ask you. Yeah, you can find the name Powhatan in South America. Yeah. So, go ahead, Jay Bird.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's not like when you look at certain ways that tribes are documented, there's not one phenotype that fits a specific tribe. Like it could be mostly, a specific phenotype, but you can't just assume that in one tribe everybody's related, because it was like a kingdom, meaning that there was a lot of intermarriage between tribes and so forth. Not everybody was related. Not everybody looked exactly the same either. But the thing is that when people sit there and they say like for the 5 civilized tribes, for example, they come in, they change their names to American renditions of Native American words. That tells you that those are not the original people that were in there. Those are people that were intermarrying specifically to take over. Because who the heck is a Choctaw? It's pronounced Choctaw, like literally Chahta. It's Choctaw. It's not Choctaw. But you ask someone from the contemporary tribe, they speak Choctaw. They don't speak the actual true indigenous language. Same thing with Cherokee. Cherokee is not even. They call themselves Kitawa Taslogi. You see what I'm saying? Like those are. Yeah, oh, sorry, Saligi. I'm sorry, I said Taslogi, but it's Saligi. So I'm saying, like, when did these people come in and change their names to American renditions of what they used to call themselves? It was during that whole reclassification time period. And no, I don't feel like those people are our cousins or our brothers, but I also feel like Asiatic phenotypes, Black phenotypes, European-looking phenotypes were all present in America before colonization. So yeah, as long as you have the documentation to prove. Who am I to sit there and say, oh, just because you look a certain way, you're not American? But when you start acting racist, I know exactly where you're from, because that comes from the other people.
Okay, yeah. Thank you all for clarifying that. I was just kind of just wondering at that point.
For sure, there's no problem. What's up, Venus? What you got to say before I wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think he was separating the two because it's a different tribe. But a lot of people do have connections to South America, since people were being sent back and forth. People were being sent from the Caribbeans to here and here to Caribbeans, and same for South America. On my boyfriend's tree, since he's what y'all would call half so-called Black American, then he's 1/3 Venezuelan and then 1/3 Jamaican. So he was looking on his Venezuelan side. All his ancestors migrated from Mexico into Venezuela, and they were Aztecs. And on his tree, you can see that his Spanish and Aztec ancestors migrated to New Mexico and mixed in with the Apaches and the Pueblos. So a lot of these tribes have ancestry from South America.
Your boyfriend on TikTok? Venus? Oh, I know who that is then. All right.
Is it Reverend Warrior? Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about the Aztec. They don't have no culture in America before the 1500s. I stand on that. They legit don't. If you look up any Aztec art or culture, it's Mayan art or culture, and they literally, their oral history is that they came down from the north and migrated to empty remains or ancient ruins. They call I forgot, it's like God's gift or something like that, or like the promised land for them. And they assimilated into whatever culture they found. They don't have no culture from before colonization. And Mexica Nahua literally are not like South American. I'm sorry, or they're North American, sure, maybe, but they come from Canada.
Yeah, I'll say this last thing to wrap this thing up. The Piscataway, they actually have the queen family of the Piscataway. They have an ancestor that came from South America. So the Piscataway have a tie to South America through that woman that was brought to Maryland by an Englishman that with the last name Queen. So the Queens have South American ties, and then things like that. And like Vina was saying, people get shipped back and forth from the Caribbean and stuff like that. And, the Arawak come from the Amazon rainforest, so that's their tie to South America. And then you had like the Yamasi and the Santee, because this is how I get Jamaican ancestry, getting shipped to and from Jamaica. So you got the partner. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this up, folks. It's been nice having